welcome to Tru Heel Heat.
What's up, Tru Heel Heat? Tru Heel Heat. What's up? Tru Heel Heat. All hands on me. Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at Tru Heel Heat. Yeah.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
It is AEW Dynasty weekend. It is TNA Rebellion weekend. It is 420, so light up your morning wake and bake blunts for another edition of the Saturday Morning Podcast, the Saturday Morning Cookout, your favorite place to talk about everything going on in professional wrestling. We'll be talking about WWE, if they'll be able to fill the void left by the injuries of Rhea Ripley and Seth freaking Rollins. Can AEW bounce back with AEW Dynasty? Who might be returning at AEW Dynasty? And what potential big free agent may be showing up in All Elite Wrestling? We're going to talk about all of that, plus much, much more. It's the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Let's hit the intro. Hello, 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 hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 273. Rebel for a Dynasty. We are here to discuss the latest wrestling news, including the big AEW Dynasty weekend with AEW Collision and Rampage tonight, as well as WWE big injury bug, as they will be trying to fill the void left by both Rhea Ripley and Seth freaking Rollins. We're also going to be discussing all this week in professional wrestling, including WWE SmackDown with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga's savage beatdown of Kevin Owens, Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite, Collision, Battle of the Belts, NJPW, Wrestle World, and TNA Impact, plus much, much more. And final predictions for TNA Rebellion and AEW Dynasty. She is back after her long birthday vacation and post WrestleMania sabbatical. She is the princess of all the Tru Heels. Miss Krssi Love is back.
Good morning. Happy 420, friends. Yeah, I'm back. Very jet lagged, but I'm here. How y'all all feeling today? It's been a long 2.5 weeks.
Back like you never left, girl. Back like you never left. Glad to see you back with us today. We are also joined by the True Draw himself. Josh is back. How are you doing, sir?
I'm just tired, but it's been a kind of a week for wrestling, right? If I'm not mistaken, like compared to last week.
I thought it was gonna be lighter, but then I saw all the news that had gone down. I was like, oh yeah, I had a lot of news, but in comparison to last week where we had to cover like 10 different shows, I think it will be a lighter week than last week for sure.
I didn't see much, so that's perfect.
There you go. But yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show that appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And we got to shout out a big, huge thanks to all of you who are a subscriber already, helping us to 14,000 subscribers. We're only 1K away to 15,000, about 6K away from 20K, which is our goal for the end of the year. But 15K is very special to me because I was on the channel, Wrestling Daily, and we got canceled because we couldn't make it to 15K. So I would very much love it if Tru Heel Heat gets to 15K. So I could be like, finally made it, Mom. Finally made it.
Wow. Okay. So they dissed us because we didn't have 15K?
Well, not us. It was wrestling when I was on Wrestling Daily. Me, Alex, Stephanie. Couldn't make it to 15K, so I want to make it to 15K here. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to Seth. But yes. Shout outs to all of you who are joining us live. Sound off in the live chat if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We will try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, or throw out a little celebration super chat for the love of 14K, our latest milestone, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. We will highlight your comment on screen. We will give you our thoughts. If it's a take or a question or a thought, definitely feel free to send those super chat donations. We got in the chat with us Eric Isaacs, who says, good morning, THH fam. Happy Rebellion Dynasty weekend, and don't mess with Suge Knight Solo.
Not Suge Knight Solo. I can't.
I mean the jacket. What I mean the blazer the blazer suit was a little bit Shuggy. It was a little bit Suge Knight-ish.
With the wrapped up hand. I saw highlights, so I didn't get to see everything, but I seen him wrap.
Yeah,
I was like, you got on a suit with a wrapped up hand, like
with the wrapped up thumb.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Let's just hope Solo ain't running over nobody to go to jail for. So.
Well,
That's
hopefully
true.
not.
So
hopefully
did they change Tonga? His part was Tonga. What how you say it?
Tama
Tonga's name?
No.
Okay, great.
He's Tama Tonga, but he is now known as Solo Sikoa's MFT. But no one seems to know what MFT means.
Right.
Yeah, we also got in the chat, Power Driver Finisher says, yo, happy 420. Happy 420 to you. We also got G Loke, who says, let's get it to it. What we finna do with LA Knight. Smash up that like. He was very happy. LA Knight took a loss last night on SmackDown, he told me. G Loke also saying, oh yes, happy 420. Break it, roll it, smoke that joint. Smoke that junk. We also got here in the chat with us today. Today, Frantic World is just congrats on the 14K. We appreciate it. We also got Queen Monet who says, good morning. First time I've been able to watch the flagship pod live in a minute. Thanks for joining us today. Queen Monet. Always appreciate the love. And as we always appreciate you, especially because we always shout you out during our Tru Heel roll call. We start off every edition of the flagship podcast, shouting out those supporting us on Patreon, supporting us on social media, here on the YouTube channel. Our top 3 conversation starters over on our Facebook group page. We have Jermaine Packman once again, Fozzie LaFleur, and number 1, Stewie Palmer. Once again, congratulations to all of them. And then our Patreon backers, we got Vala B, who's in the chat with us. We got Alan Weinstein, Nick Jackson, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, Robert, Steve, 5th Generation Carney, Ladarius, John, a.k.a. Russell Scopes, Dan, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus Ryan, James, Alan, Santo, Queen Monet, Christopher and Victoria Kid, and Nick Tim. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. And we got our first super chat donation to start things off here. We got Vala B with a super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He says 420 Blaze It Gang, 14K Blaze It Gang. Here's to 15K. Solo's motherfucking Tongan Tamatonga, who SRS just confirmed is not keeping his theme, I hope. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. But I mean, I like the fact that he's able to keep the Tamatonga name and the presentation A+.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So far, how they've done it, and then they get. So this is how we're gonna get the Usos back together. Like, you guys are just like showing us how it's all. Because Jay is gonna save his big brother. Oh, you guys can't do nothing new.
Hey, that's a good thing. It's a good, if it's predictable, sometimes that's good predictable.
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as it shows this, I mean, you have to show how the bloodline is now going to like trickle down, and like how it's going to, depart its ways officially, I'm guessing. So yeah. But yeah, the presentation of how they introduced him was great. And I love that how they also said, he's been doing so much work around the world and other locations. Like, now he's here. Like, I'm loving that the inclusivity of how they're showing and telling how these other wrestlers are coming in, and they've been doing this work. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because actually other wrestling exists outside of WWE again. It's very nice.
Yes,
it's very refreshing.
It is very, very refreshing. I'm happy. Like, I mean, even if you throw little jabs and talk about other people, as you speak about Will Ospreay like you did last week. Yeah, I know what you did, sir. Triple H. You're not. Fuck you.
Just because you weren't there, you weren't here to say anything. You wanted to let him know. You wanted to let. I heard you. I heard you.
I heard what you said, and my boo gave you a good clap back too, bitch.
Yeah, and apparently there's people who completely ignore that Triple H is the one that does something first.
Mm-hmm.
No, because they like to play, the kind of foolish anonymity of, oh, he didn't name anybody. He didn't name any names.
He didn't have to name anybody. You know exactly what you was doing. Like, bro, like, I hate when people, like, you throw underline jabs, Drake, and then you don't expect people to say anything afterwards. See where I'm going, guys? There you go.
Pretty similar there. We
Very
do have
similar,
another super chat donation from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much,
Thank
Chuck
you,
Berries.
Chuck.
That's a big super chat. We appreciate the love. He says, here's to continued future success, just because. Chuck Berries, you've been supporting us for the last couple of months, and we appreciate you being a part of our community. And everyone, honestly, it's not only y'all just sending super chats. Anyone who likes the video, anyone who watches, anyone who comments down below, we appreciate y'all. We wouldn't be able to keep doing the content that we do every single day like we do without all of you. So definitely appreciate y'all. And thank you for helping us hit that milestone of 14K.
And I think you said it, SP, is like, Will Ospreay came out and said a great clapback without even saying people's names. Unlike Edge, or, what's his name? Adam Copeland, excuse me. Adam Copeland came and said, yeah, blah, 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 WCW, this is where the big boys are. We can do what we want, blah, blah, blah. That's how you do clapbacks, friends.
I mean, yeah. I think when we get to Dynamite, I will mention again, but I'll say it now, just in case I forget. what John Moxley's promo was exactly what Copeland's promo should have been. What Moxley's promo this
Yeah.
week, because he
Oh, I didn't
mentioned
see it. So you have to tell me. You have to tell me about
it
it.
was so small in the middle of his promo. He says like professional wrestling. That's what AEW is all about. He didn't have to say the freaking line of hey, this is AEW with the best wrestler, because that shit's pissing me off. That and WWE keep telling me it's a new era. Just cut it out. I don't need your propaganda. Stop telling me this is where the best wrestle. Stop telling me this is a new era. Jesus.
It was fine. It was fine Mania weekend, but I don't need you to keep saying it like the night after Mania, the Friday after Mania. Like
Two Fridays after Mania, 2 Mondays after Mania.
Like you guys really want to prove like you're now doing something so different when you're really not. But okay, sure, great. You're still doing the same formula.
Some people believe.
I mean, I'm excited to see what you're going to do.
But let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown with what we missed. Last night's Friday Night SmackDown, the show featured more bloodline drama as Solo Sikoa came dressed to the nine in a brand new suit, bossing around Paul Heyman, who kind of feels like a hostage in the bloodline now. And Solo orchestrated an attack alongside the newest member of the bloodline, Tama Tonga, as they beat down Kevin Owens, bloodying him, beating him down in front of the people in the arena as Paul Heyman watched on in horror. Security and officials had to pull both men over the blood out off of the bloody Kevin Owens in a savage beatdown by the bloodline. It was later revealed after the commercial break by SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. He showed Paul Heyman that it was Tama Tonga who used his rental car to run into Kevin Owens' rental car and cause him to be bloodied and have a head injury.
Wait, we had a whole car crash last night?
The bloodline committing vehicular manslaughter now, apparently.
What?
Then in the opener to the show, you had a WrestleMania 40 rematch as AJ Styles defeated LA Knight, to become the #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. He will now face Cody Rhodes for the title at WWE. Yeah, me too. At WWE Backlash, as Cody says, 2 Georgia boys fighting in France. Then
who said that?
More, Cody said that.
Okay.
And more #1 contenders being crowned on the show. You had the Street Profits being crowned #1 contenders for their brand new WWE Tag Team Championships.
Those are beautiful.
Once the freaking carpet was off of this shit, it became the best title design in the damn company. This is beautiful.
Ever. These are gorgeous. Like, first of all, I thought they were gonna be like what Cody has. No, these are way better than the other ones on Raw. Fuck the Raw ones.
Absolutely.
These ones,
absolutely.
These have to be like one of the best. These are like the original belts from like in the 80s and 90s. Like this is like how these are gorgeous. I wish they could make these for the rest of the other belts.
It's like, man, like people don't understand. Like this is just laps the Raw titles, but we'll get to those later. But look at the detail. Oh my god,
these are gorgeous.
Just beautiful. But like I said, Street Profits got the win in a 4-way #1 contenders matchup over Legado del Fantasma, Authors of Pain, and New Catch Republic, and they will face A-Town Down Under for the brand new WWE Tag Team Championships. I like A-Town Down Under. Maybe just me, but
I like them, but I don't want them to be well, okay, whatever.
And then you also had in the main event, you had Damage Control, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair all watching as it was Bayley defending the WWE Women's Championship against Naomi. This match, unfortunately, went to a no contest as it was just getting good as Tiffany Stratton attacked both women and laid them out, hitting the prettiest moonsault ever to close the show.
Okay, cute.
So what do you think, Josh? What did you think about the latest with the bloodline there? The fact that blood is back and it's sticking around in WWE as we get Kevin Owens, the latest. Yeah, Kevin Owens bled in the attack on the bloodline. That's why I showed this picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you think that's blood, I mean, it's blood. I mean, it kind
I
of
saw the
to
car
me,
crash part, but I didn't see the bloody part. That's why.
it kind of to me looks like food coloring and corn syrup that they poured on Kevin Owens' head.
On
But
his hair,
maybe
but
that's just
that's
me.
fine.
That's just me. But
It's
I
okay.
don't know. You don't need to bleed to have blood. It's true. Josh, what did you think about the bloodline beatdown?
I thought it was great. I like the stuff that they're doing so far. Just because you're not gonna have Roman, you're not gonna have Rock, so there's something that you have to do, and this makes things interesting. Because honestly, without it, it'll probably be kind of like dull and flat. So the fact that you have like these guys doing what they've been doing from last week, beating down Jimmy, and then now beating down KO, makes it interesting. Like it keeps it going because that's what you need. But then also the new direction of the bloodline of seeking out revenge or taking out whoever comes in their way. I think I'm all for it when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think in the first 2 weeks since Roman's been gone, it's really elevated Solo. He's just naturally kind of gotten into that leadership role, and the presentation of Tama, especially last night, he came off like everything they said he was when they said he was the son of Haku. He came off like Haku, like a wild savage that couldn't be controlled, that was going to tear Kevin Owens apart. So I give them great credit. But the big thing that I wanted to note from the segment was during the promo segment, we want Roman chants. So, Krssi, I want to ask you, do you think that the whole big design of this whole thing with the new bloodline is to bring back a baby face Roman Reigns? Like WWE would have completed the long 12-year journey of making Roman Reigns the top baby face of the company.
Maybe. Let's see. I mean, this is how you see if the company can thrive without. I mean, he wasn't really there anyway. He was there like three times a year, maybe 4 tops.
Come on, that only started.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I'm gonna defend Roman. I'm defending Roman.
No, I'm bloodline always. I picked him to win, and he lost, but it's fine. I was okay with how it went down. It was fine. But yeah, I guess this will like show how we can have a baby face come back and like have more people be stands for Roman. I'm here for it.
It may, we talked about last week, Josh, the WrestleMania main event, what seems to be they're building to with Cody and the Rock. If you have Cody and the Rock as your main event, honestly, I feel like they have already started the steps to building Solo versus Roman as another big main event matchup for WrestleMania. Roman versus Solo, because a lot of people thought after WrestleMania that maybe Roman would face Seth Rollins. But I feel like the momentum is really leaning towards Roman coming back as a babyface and them doing the Bloodline Civil War as a long arching storyline instead of just the 2 months that we got last year. We get the Solo and Rock side of things. We get the Roman side, and he has to rebuild it and bring back the Usos back together to fight against this new bloodline. We can potentially have Rock, Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama versus Roman, the Usos, and honorary Us, Sami Zayn.
Not honorary Us.
Honorary Us. Sami Zayn.
Oh my god, I can't.
Bring it all back together.
That's how we'll have War Games?
That sounds like a War Games to me, but I doubt The Rock's going to want to compete in War Games, but
he can go last.
That's true. Roman taught him. He was like, you can sit in a chair in the cage for like 30 minutes and then get up, and you only have to work 10 minutes.
That's it.
That would probably work with The Rock, but yeah, that's what I think they're forming, because I don't think they're gonna do Roman and Seth, because Roman has to be heel for that Seth matchup.
Yes,
maybe they can do it maybe a year or two later, but I feel like Roman is going to be a babyface when he comes back, because we got the Thank you, Roman chants on the Raw after WrestleMania. We're getting "We Want Roman" chants at Solo. I think that we're going to Roman being a babyface.
I'm here for it.
We
I
got-
like it. If you put it that way, I'm here for it.
We got a super chat donation here from Vala B. Thank you so much, Vala B, for the super chat donation. He says, Tama, busting rental cars. Don't tell Punk. Yep, just messing it up for the boys. He's just out here messing it up for the boys, Tama. Way to go, Tama.
Yeah. I touched base on the footage that was shown that should prove CM Punk was telling the truth.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that CM Punk was telling the truth. I say CM Punk was telling his side of the story. But
okay,
I mean, the footage did not. The footage did not make AEW look better. It did not make Punk look better, and not make Punk look like he was telling the truth, honestly. Because he said the way Punk described it, it was a 2-second conversation. My dude, y'all were standing there for a hot minute. For a hot minute. So at the end of a hot minute, I would expect Jack Perry to be like, "You gonna do something or not?" And he wasn't trying to fight him. He wasn't trying to fight him, so it does look like Punk assaulted him. So it does look like AEW was right in firing him. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think I saw the footage and said, "Oh, Punk was right." No, I didn't think that. I just think, damn.
No, what I'm saying, like
I was like, I said it last week. I was like, damn. The only person who looked good out of this is Jack Perry. He did nothing wrong. Why is he gone?
But that's what we said from
the
the get-go, though. We were saying, like, why did Jack Perry feel like he was the one that got the shit end of the stick when he was merely just defending himself?
I don't understand it. I'm a Jack Perry fan because I saw that footage and I instantly became a Jack Perry fan.
Yeah. I mean, on my end, like I said last week, I was just like, the only thing I could give, which I'm not saying I agree with, is that because of the situation, because of him saying what he did on camera, that basically led to the fight. That's why he was suspended. That's the only thing I could think of, which I'm not saying like, oh yeah, he deserved to be suspended for that. But that's the only logical thing that I could say, like, yeah, that's probably why. Would I have suspended him for that? No, because I'm right there and I see what happened. He didn't do anything, but so far it's made him look good. I mean, he had shirts sold out and Chicago loved him. So, I mean, hey, you never know if he's comes up tomorrow.
He's the one that's the one paying off on all of this right now. Will Chisholm with a nice little comment here says Triple H and TKO pay SP3 because we know they watching. Yes, we know y'all watch Tru Heel Heat. We know y'all watch the Ramble. We know y'all watch the Flagship. So I need my money, please. I need my money. Yes. But we got some more news to talk about because during last night's SmackDown, some news broke. Some very important news as WWE did their now yearly tradition of having a series of releases following WrestleMania. This year, it all started with during the SmackDown telecast. It was former WWE champion Jinder Mahal who sent out a cryptic tweet saying, "I quit, Maharaja out," with a bag of money emoji. Then Raw star Xia Li tweeted out a farewell to WWE and Triple H. Jinder Mahal then changed his Twitter bio to read free agent - 90 days, indicating that he had a 90-day non-compete clause. But then it was, of course, Fightful Sean Rossap, who later reported that WWE had, in fact, had a series of cuts, which included, yes, former WWE champion, the modern-day Maharaja, actual challenger for their World Heavyweight Championship just 3 months ago, Jinder Mahal. Yeah, guys, all those people who's defending Jinder. Remember that? Remember when everybody was defending Jinder and said, "Oh yeah, WWE cares about him so much, that they fired him 3 months later."
I know Calvin is pissed.
They also,
I mean, to be fair, he's a fake fan of Jinder Mahal. I said it.
They also released Xia Li, who was just in a rivalry with Becky Lynch just last year on Monday Night Raw. They also released Zion Quinn, who was a former NXT talent who was drafted to the main roster last
Oh,
year and
right.
competed in all of one match. And they also
Yeah.
released Sangha and Veer. Indus Sher has been released from their contract. Everyone here at Tru Heel Heat wishes them all the best of luck moving forward in their careers. Krssi Love, what do you think about this latest series of releases from WWE?
It's unfortunate. I mean, budgets have to be made or whatever, but I guess they weren't really doing anything with these people, so they had to be released. I mean, when the last time you seen Xia Li, like you said, she had a match with Becky Lynch, and that was like we really, since she's been on the main roster, she's probably had maybe like 4 or 5 matches, if that, and that's being very like.
This was probably a case. This was probably a case of freaking a case of them not having the communication within WWE, because they did a commercial for Raw where they're gonna have a battle royal for the WWE Women's World Championship. In the commercial included Xia Li. After they had probably already called her to release her from her contract.
What?
Yeah. Not a lot of people caught that, but they did in fact promote Xia Li for this Monday's Raw's Battle Royal, even though they had already called her to release her from her contract during the broadcast.
Like Valaby said, she deserves more. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
she should go to Impact. Go to Impact and like fuck shit up over there. I feel like you would be great over there. Maybe AEW is too stacked right now. They're not going to use you over there. Go to Impact. Impact will be the best decision for her. Maharaja, on the other hand, go to indie scenes, be independent for a little while. Maybe do a whole stint like Mustafa Ali. But yeah, I don't know where you're gonna go, friend.
That's not, y'all not right. Y'all not right towards Vala B. How y'all gonna fire all the Indians in WWE on one day?
Thank you.
I haven't seen this many Indians lose their jobs since they closed the curry spot in my hood.
Yeah.
Jeez,
no
man.
way. Yeah,
Y'all
yeah. I'm about to say
wildin'
you
out
got
here.
rid of all, like the whole. Yeah, you got rid of all of them. And the other dude that was on NXT he's like Samoan too, right? He's Samoan.
Yeah, he's Samoan. Zion Quinn.
The Rock couldn't help save his job.
He's not related. He's like Samoa Joe. He's not related. He's Samoan, but of no relation. He's like Uncle Ruckus.
So he's not a part of the Dynasty family. So you can't
Nope.
you can't be here.
Not a part of the Anawaii Dynasty. So get the fuck up out of here.
Damn.
That's what they said. That's what they said. We got Vala B who says Jinder out. Veer won't be climaxing again. Sangha out of Thunder.
Wow.
Jinder was coming for a while. Remember? I mean, no, Veer was coming for a while. Remember, they kept putting the vignettes of Veer is coming.
Yep. That was terrible.
Did that for months. I agree though. Xia Li deserves better. I would say Xia Li and Jinder Mahal would both be fits in TNA.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jinder's got the right look for TNA. Drew Galloway and Heath Slater have gotten success in TNA, so it makes sense.
That's true. You're right. Can he won't have that name though? So what would his name be?
That's a good question. What is
you don't want you don't want to know the name that Jaquan gave him last night. That was hilarious, yo. That was hilarious, yo.
Okay, I'm not even gonna ask. But it's not only that bad news from WWE this week, but they were hit with the injury bug as well. F4W Online previously reported that Seth freaking Rollins was expected to take some time off following WrestleMania 40 to deal with his knee injury he suffered against Jinder Mahal earlier this year. The report noted that the company expected him to miss 4 to 6 weeks. However, Seth freaking Rollins had surgery done on his knee earlier this week, according to his wife, Becky Lynch. Lynch revealed during a talk show appearance in Ireland that Rollins underwent knee surgery on Tuesday for his torn meniscus that he suffered before WrestleMania. Rollins suffered the partially torn meniscus during a match back in January and rested it up so that he could still work WrestleMania 40, where he competed on both nights. There is no word at this time how long he will be out of action. On behalf of all of us at Tru Heel Heat, our best wishes to Seth Rollins for a quick and full recovery, but this man is mental. This man legit did it. I said when he got injured in January, I was like, yo, Seth will go on one leg to main event WrestleMania. And that was back when we thought it was Seth and Punk going to be at WrestleMania after he got injured. We thought that was the main event matchup he was going for. But this man worked 2 nights of WrestleMania on a torn meniscus. No wonder his match with Drew McIntyre was a Brock Lesnar special of nothing but suplexes and finishers. That's all the dude could do. Josh, what do you think about the news of Seth Rollins getting surgery and working WrestleMania with the torn meniscus?
Not surprised that he worked WrestleMania injured. Because we all said, even I said, I was like, yo, he's gonna find any way possible to work WrestleMania. He was not gonna miss that. And if you see the trajectory of his career, that's always been the case where if he gets injured, he always does his best to get out there. If he can't do it, he can't do it. And that was regards to his first knee injury. In regards to this injury, torn meniscus, it can mean anything. It can mean he could be out several months. It could mean he could be out several weeks. Sometimes it's a meniscus injury is very, very tricky. So him working the 2 matches for torn meniscus, I'm not a doctor, but I think that's a good sign.
Don't you play one on TV?
Who?
You play one on TV though, right?
You said on TV.
Oh, my bad. Someone else. I was thinking of someone else. Go ahead.
Oh, that's funny. I was like, no.
He was like, what? He was like, who?
I was like, who? Me?
No, you said the line. I'm sorry. You said the line. I had to finish it. He was like, I'm not a doctor. I was like, you play one on TV. Oh, okay.
No, and then but him working both matches, I think it's a good sign. Just because again, a meniscus, when you're out several months from meniscus, that means you can't do anything. They'll handicap you. You can't do anything. So I think he'll be back very soon. I don't think he's gonna be out very long. That's just my guess because he still worked. But in the meantime, I mean, it is a significant blow for Monday Night Raw, especially. So, wish him speedy recovery. I think he'll be back, and I think he'll be fine.
I think so too. I mean, Seth Rollins is the type of guy that I don't know who can quickly kind of take his place, because I think that he was kind of firmly spotted as like the workhorse of WWE, and his work with the World Heavyweight Championship, despite my well-known criticism over his title reign, it cannot be kind of like glossed over. He did the work to establish that title as a second world championship. He put on great matches. He worked the house show circuit. He gave Monday Night Raw a stable main event scene. So he deserves a whole lot of credit, not just for what he did at WrestleMania, going on a torn meniscus and working a great main event matchup, as well as a great opener the next night, and being a part of a great angle with Drew winning the championship and then the Money in the Bank cash in for Damian Priest after the attack by CM Punk. He was a part of so many big things during WrestleMania week, so many big things throughout 2023 into 2024. Seth Rollins deserves all the time to heal up. I hope that he takes his time to heal up, because I wouldn't want him to rush back and get another injury, which I know with him, he's going to want to come back as quick as possible. And I don't want that to risk further injury.
Same.
Absolutely. We got in the chat here another super chat donation from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. Once again, he says, I was at Battleground in 2017, and Jinder Mahal wasn't even as over as the Singh brothers. Hey, Jesus. Yo,
Damn.
like legitimately, last night on the Sportskeeda post show for SmackDown, we got a super chat from Rollin Curtis, which said that he said, "Oh, I've heard that fans describe Jinder Mahal as the worst WWE champion," and I almost had a heart attack because I was like, "Wait, fans describe it as that, or was it that?" And like there's a difference between fans describing or saying or overrating or over embellishing or underrating something, and then there's a fact of fans consistently agree that Jinder Mahal is the worst WWE champion. There was Vince McMahon, but that shit lasted a day. There was other bad champions. We had never had that bad of a champion for as long as he was champion. Never. That is why he's the worst.
I mean, that's
Jinder Mahal,
fair.
Jinder Mahal's the worst WWE champion of all time.
I think that I
agree.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Me personally, did his title reign bother me, or did I think I was like no? Because I think I was more focused on like the outrage of it. So that was the more fun for me of title reign, which is pretty sad.
No,
But
see, that was the shit that bothered me because that's the type of attitude Top Guy JJ had when we started this damn podcast, and we started it in the middle of a Jinder Mahal title reign, and I'm like, no, we actively cannot lie to the people and tell them that we are enjoying this. No one's enjoying this.
No. Yeah, like the title reign itself, I didn't enjoy. I just enjoyed the people being pissed off, which is not the same. It's fair. It's not the same. But then even when you pick apart his title reign, I mean, his feud with Orton was mid. Then he beats Nakamura. Like that should have been the time Nakamura won the title, and that didn't happen. And then Brock didn't want to win, so they took the belt off of him.
He actively made people stop watching SmackDown. Like the SmackDown viewership was lower at the end of his reign than it was at the beginning of his reign. That means he actively ran people away.
Because it was like, you actually made this person the champion. Like you saw him as like the face of your company. Great, sure.
And that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point by Krssi, is that they did nothing to set him up for that. They did nothing. It's like an all-around bad idea to have a jobber become your WWE champion and then have him be the WWE champion for 6 months. That's like doubling down on the bad idea.
It was terrible. Like
I remember that time. Yeah, like I remember that. Oh, sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, like, I remember that time because I think he had like a of like 3 and like 58 or something. Like he was awful. And I think when that happened, everyone was trying to defend it as in like, oh, WWE is trying something new. They're doing something. They're building a new star. And I'm like, oh, this is not what the fuck it is. They're not building a new star. They're just using him as a crutch for their tour. That's all they were doing. And then by the time they went there, he wasn't even the champion.
Nope.
Yeah, lost it, and then he lost in the main event to Triple H in India.
I'm about to say they just wanted more, and they needed more viewership over there. That's all they wanted. That's probably how they got the Saudi deal.
That was supposed to be a part of their expansion into India, which never really happened, except for, I'm not. But we got another super chat donation here. Thank you so much, Vala B. Vala B says, shout out to SP3 for the Mustafa Ali interview that's coming up. And shout out to Mace and Mansoor for their SGW stint, flying themselves to Uganda. That was a great video that's up. The SGA is a Uganda wrestling league that fights on like mud ground, and they had to they started a GoFundMe to build a ring that Will Ospreay donated to, and then they had I believe Shima went over there to wrestle with them, and now the former Maximum Male Models Usos went over there and wrestled with the guys over there. So that was very cool. And yes, my interview with Mustafa Ali, the current TNA X Division champion, will drop today. And I would say this is probably the best interview I've done so far this year. We talked
Really?
about his promo from NJPW, Windy City Riot, about about people talking about broken glass instead of a genocide, and he did not hold back. He did not hold back when I asked him to elaborate on that promo of why he's annoyed with the industry. I actually asked him if New Japan had asked him to be in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament after he said that how is New Japan supposed to have the tournament without him? I don't think that was ever specified if they actually did ask him. So I asked them that as well. So go over and check that out. And right now we have on our short section a clip from the interview where he talks about his matchup with Jake Something tonight at TNA Rebellion. So you can go over and check that out after this. But yes, Mustafa Ali, shout outs to him. So that was a great interview where he called me Mr. Pilar or Peeler. He said it wrong one time. The whole time.
You're not going to correct him, so it's fine.
No, I'm not going to correct him. I was like, just keep going. Just keep going. Keep shoot. It's a shoot. But yes, from one great leader to a not so good one. Profile piece by NBC News detailed on the life after WWE for former WWE and TKO chairman Vince McMahon addressed life after WWE and the ongoing lawsuit against him by former WWE employee Janelle Grant. McMahon, of course, is under the federal investigation for the allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking brought against him by Grant. However, he has not been charged as of yet. The report also stated that who McMahon has been in contact with since he resigned from WWE includes Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, John Cena, and former U.S. President Donald Trump. Multiple WWE insiders claim that McMahon has not made any contact with company leaders and figureheads since he resigned from his post. Mark Shapiro previously said last month that McMahon no longer works for the company, doesn't come into the office, and he's not coming back to the company. Sources also informed NBC News that McMahon hasn't spoken to son-in-law Triple H or his daughter Stephanie McMahon on company matters either. It said that Stephanie McMahon currently has no involvement with WWE despite appearing at the start of WrestleMania 49-2, introducing the event. Both Levesque and McMahon-Levesque declined to comment to NBC News through a spokesperson along with a representative of WWE. The report says that McMahon has maintained his other routines in life and he is not fazed by his ongoing legal battles. McMahon reportedly returned on a private plane in March to the United States from a recent trip to Turks and Caicos. He brought with him 7 kittens and a puppy that he brought back with him to be adopted by friends. An anonymous source close to McMahon told NBC News, if anything, he's enjoying life. The anonymous individual also said that McMahon Wrestling took a trip to Italy. McMahon's attorney, Jesse Rosenberg, declined to comment on McMahon's personal life, but did send a statement on Tuesday criticizing Janelle Grant's lawsuit. She says that the lawsuit's claims are false, defamatory, and entirely without merit. We intend to vigorously defend Mr. McMahon and are confident that he will be vindicated. With regards to the federal investigation into the allegations, one of the people close to the former WWE chairman said to NBC News that McMahon is cooperating with authorities. Additionally, McMahon reportedly believes that federal officials won't bring any charges against him and that Janelle Grant's case will be settled out of court, per an individual close to him. Federal investigators reportedly seized a phone from McMahon and are said to be determining whether federal law has broken in the conduct surrounding Grant's allegations. Vince McMahon was previously served with a federal grand jury subpoena last summer and a search warrant that was later executed in July. U.S. Attorney's Office Southern District of New York spokesperson Nicholas Bias reportedly declined to comment on the investigation. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the attorneys of Janelle Grant have not been able to have any settlement talks with McMahon. Meanwhile, McMahon reportedly likes to often take private trips from his Connecticut home to Manhattan, where he eats with friends at restaurants, receives bi-weekly haircuts at his longtime barber, and he is still regularly visits his personal trainer multiple times a week. Two sources also informed NBC News that McMahon has largely been quite guarded, and he's usually on the phone with his lawyers mapping out plans since Janelle Grant's lawsuit has been announced. Multiple sources also informed NBC News that McMahon has maintained close contact with his longtime friend Donald Trump, who is also facing his own legal issues. The report notes that the two men have been in touch regularly, though it's unknown what they have discussed. McMahon's wife, Linda McMahon, previously served as a member of Trump's presidential cabinet. Multiple sources also say that McMahon has kept in contact with actor, WWE superstar, and TKO board of directors member Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as well as former WWE champion John Cena. McMahon was among the people who welcomed The Rock as a member of the board of directors earlier this year before his resignation. Sources indicate that WWE has become more relaxed environment since McMahon's resignation, and two employees claimed that when McMahon was in charge, he would arrive at the office late in the afternoon and then stay until around midnight, if not later. McMahon's office now, one executive says, is empty and is called spooky to a lot of the people in the office. The report notes that some of McMahon's loyalists remain within the company. However, one employee is quoted as saying that McMahon distracted from WWE being a good place to work. Another employee stated that people feel like they're on steadier ground. It seems employees within the company are more at ease following McMahon's resignation in January, with McMahon selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of TKO shares since last November. McMahon has sold additional shares since he resigned in January. He no longer has a controlling interest in WWE, much like he did when he first resigned from the company in July 2022. So, McMahon, life after McMahon, what do you think about McMahon working with authorities as well as in close contact with The Rock and John Cena, as well as Donald Trump, who may be his cellmate if things go the way that a lot of people want them to go? What do you think about all of that, Krssi Love?
Not surprised that he is in cahoots with his bestie, Donald Trump. Like, they've been best friends for like a long time. They're both gonna have a jail cell together. So that's amazing to hear. But the fact that he's calling John Cena and The Rock, like, he must want allies, but he's not gonna get the allies, I feel like.
I don't know, man.
The
Rock hasn't been the best judge of character as of late.
True. I mean, but I don't think that he'll be, friends of. I don't think he'll be there for Vince McMahon as Vince thinks he would be. Yeah,
and John Cena already said he doesn't want to let a friend go. That interview he did with Howard Stern, where he was like basically like he doesn't want to break his friendship, he doesn't want to let his friend down.
Your friend did all these things. Okay, sure. Your friend was a bad person. Sorry.
Pretty much. What do you think about all of this, Josh?
In regards to I don't know, with Vince, I don't know, it's kind of weird just to hear certain things like he's cooperating, whatever the fuck that means. That's how I take it. I'm like, whatever the fuck that means. And then The Rock and still being in contact with him. I mean, I'm not really surprised about that. They consider him friends, and we could sit here and say like, oh yeah, that they're wrong for that because Vince did some shitty things, but at the same time, we're not in that situation to really have that feeling like, oh, like what would you do in that situation? So I can't really fault neither guy for that. Even though it does look bad, it does look bad, but I can't really fault neither guy because again, like they know Vince more than we do. So yeah. I could see where they probably may feel like, oh, he may be innocent or where the case may be. I think he's guilty. I think
he's
he's
guilty.
I think
As
he's guilty as fuck.
Absolutely. Me and you on the same page. Okay,
Yeah.
me and you on the same damn page, Josh. Fuck, he did that shit. R. Kelly gave us great music, but guess what? He still slept with those little girls.
No, like he definitely did, and just because again, like there's a lot of shit in the lawsuit that it matches up, and I'm like, I can't ignore that. Like, there's just too much it's too much that matches up. And then even if he does get vindicated, what is that going to do? His image is already finished. Like, his legacy is already tainted. So it's like, what can you really do at this point? You know what I mean? And then if they do settle, that's going to make Vince look even worse. So I see why he has to do it. I feel like I see why he feels like he has to do it, because if they settle, that's kind of it's sort of it's like it's a public guy that's like an admission to guilt. So I could see why he's being stern. I can see why he's gonna try to fight it. But at this point, I mean, it's just like, hey, if he's enjoying himself, good, I guess. If he ends up in jail with Donald Trump, I mean, that'd be some great stories to hear.
That'll be some interesting times, but I would expect a whole bunch of people with homemade shanks trying to hit that cell. We got another more news as a new glitch in QR code led to a cryptic message on this week's episode of WWE SmackDown. Friday's show saw a QR code during Triple H's entrance to introduce the new WWE Tag Team Championships. As Fightful notes, scanning on the QR code led to an image of a black figure in front of a sky image, and zooming in, revealing the message, "I'm nobody." During Thursday's episode of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that Eric Redbeard is believed to be headed to WWE, marking his return to the company after 4 years. Redbeard was released from the company in 2020 and only came back one night in 2023 for the Bray Wyatt tribute show. He also made brief appearances in AEW in 2020 and 2022. He has been working on the independent scene and recently finished up his scheduled dates. He actually had to cancel one of his scheduled dates because he had already signed a contract somewhere. Meltzer notes that he's believed to be part of an upcoming fashion headed up by Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy, but that is just speculation at this time. This has been a part of multiple QR codes and glitches that have gone on WWE television since WWE aired the Bray Wyatt tribute documentary on Peacock that had an Easter egg teasing the comeback or return of Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas. Krssi Love, what do you think about a potential Wyatt family with Bo Dallas trying to live on the legacy of his brother?
I would love to see it. However, we already know the track record for WWE. Are they going to do it right? And in the video, if you watch the documentary, he wanted to do so much other things, but of course he was held back from doing those things. I guess with this new era, maybe he'll have more, creativity to get these things done. Maybe he'll have Alexa Bliss come back when she's done she had a baby or whatever. So I'm sure she's cleared and ready to go. It's just this time of she just wanted to be, a mom right now. But I mean, it's just more of like how you're going to give us the package. How are you going to show it to us? Like how are you going to bring them out? How is it going to be done? Who are they going to now fight with? Are they going to be on Raw? Or are they going to be on SmackDown? Let's see what happens. Maybe it'll be on SmackDown and go after Cody. Who knows?
Could be that. That is a story that they could tell there with Cody and Bray Wyatt's old connection that they had together from his days as a Husky Harris. My whole thing is that they gotta have a full plan.
Yes,
because I think that it's great that we're getting all the glitches, all the teases, the QR codes, and I expect that the final reveal will be great. But when I look back on Bray Wyatt's final run in the company, that was primarily booked by Triple H. I think that it peaked at the return. I think that the build-up and the teases to the return at Extreme Rules in 2022 were good. And then the return was great at the end of that show. And then that was the peak of Bray Wyatt's return to the company.
Mm.
He had a good feud with LA Knight, and then the bell rang. That's what happens with a lot of these Bray Wyatt feuds, is that they are good ideas, but in execution, they're not as good once like the bell rings or once someone starts talking.
Like when he was burnt up, like that shit was stupid. And he had to wear all that shit. That was dumb.
I'm not gonna judge them on that, because like you said, it's a new era. But I am gonna judge it. I'm gonna base it on Bray Wyatt's last run with the company, because that was booked by Triple H. The burning and stuff like that, that's Vince. So I won't grade Triple H on that. But I'm saying I'm gonna watch it closely, because you did not do the best you could, in my opinion, that first time. But I do suspect, Eric Rowan, that's why he's coming back. Bo Dallas. I think this is going to be the Wyatt 6 that he was always teasing of. Those two. Then also Alexa Bliss. We may see Matt Hardy return to the company. Braun Strowman. And then I would say you got to get somebody from NXT. You got to have like a young guy you can build this group behind that's going to help.
So wait, you said Braun Strowman. Who else? Braun
Strowman, Bo Dallas, Eric Rowan, Alexa Bliss. Matt Hardy is a free agent and has a connection to Bray Wyatt.
What? They don't want him. No, they don't.
Hey, he has a connection to Bray Wyatt. Broken Matt Hardy.
Sure. Great.
Hey, I'm just trying to get 6 people. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make a Wyatt 6. I think Joe Gacy, if I'm going to take an NXT person.
I like Joe Gacy. Now, I like him better than Matt Hardy. But yes, they had the whole they were tag champ. You're right. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Because that's the theme. The other 5 people are all people that have a connection to Bray Wyatt. My 5th one is someone you can build up, but he is like a kind of like a spiritual successor to Bray Wyatt, Joe Gacy.
Got it.
He could be like that.
Okay. I can see that. That's fine.
But they're not the only faction taking shape in WWE right now. We talked about what's going on with the bloodline, what happened on SmackDown this week, what happened last week with Tama Tonga's debut. Fightful Select reports that the recently signed Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu have new reports on them, and Tama Tonga made a good impression last week for WWE, while Jacob Fatu made a good impression during WrestleMania weekend, going backstage and speaking to people. It said that Jacob Fatu looked and appeared very happy to be in the company, while Tama Tonga already has many friends within WWE. As noted, Fatu has reportedly signed with WWE and was backstage at WrestleMania weekend events. WWE has not yet announced Fatu's signing as of yet, while they have announced and he's already debuted Tama Tonga on SmackDown. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns has been absent since WrestleMania 40, and it was noted that he would be taking significant time off, with him not set to be on-screen factor in the next couple of chapters of the Bloodline storyline for a while. However, per WrestleVotes, even though he's going to be absent from television, which is said to be indefinite, he will have a substantial creative input into the Bloodline story evolution over the next few months. So Roman Reigns is currently scheduled to be on WWE television on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. So I would suspect that we're going to get a big Roman Reigns matchup at SummerSlam then.
So we got to wait. What are we in? April? So May, June, July. 4 months? Great. That sounds about right.
Hey, he's not the champion anymore. Why are we upset? We can't be upset.
I never said I was upset. I'm just saying that sounds about his typical schedule.
Hey, he's going to come back an even bigger star. He's in a movie with Keke Palmer and Keanu Reeves.
I mean, you can't turn that down.
Hey, who cares about us? We'll be okay.
Yeah. He got to do what's Keanu Reeves that movie he always doing? What's the one with all the blood?
John Wick.
Yeah, he's with John Wick now. So John Wick number 5, 10, and 11. There you go.
It's some romantic comedy. I just saw him in a nice little suit, and he was surrounded by women holding a title.
Oh, okay, cute. So some romantic comedy, probably. Okay, and Keke Palmer's in it too. That's actually a good look for him. Good job, Roman. Got some good company. Taking advantage of the time off. I like it. I like it too. Good for him.
Any thoughts on the new bloodline that is forming, and what do you think Roman Reigns' input on the story will be? What do you think the bloodline story will be by the time he returns to WWE, Josh?
I think it's cool that he has input in it because I mean he is the important piece to that. I think it's between him and Rock. I think between him and Rock, I think you have either or involved. I think that's still great. In regards to him returning, I do see him coming back as a babyface. I just don't see him coming back as a heel and coming back as the same Roman. Just because I'm like, if you do that, it'll be great to see Tribal Chief. And it's like, okay, where do you go from here, right? And that's how I feel about it. But so I think going babyface, I think that would be a good thing for him. Like you said earlier, this is what WWE's been wanting for years. And they can finally get it. They can finally do it. Yeah, and they can finally have it. So I think that would be a great move if there was to go that direction, because I do think like we've had this whole reward kind of thing with the bloodline, but I think now will be even bigger because you'll have two different sides that are like significantly different compared to what it was back then. So I think when he comes back, I think that's the direction they'll go. He'll go babyface.
So what they need to do is keep building Solo. You have Solo challenge Cody for the undisputed WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. He loses to Cody, and then you have Roman challenge Cody for SummerSlam. You get one more. You gotta get at least get the rematch, Cody Roman rematch, out of one more match as him as a heel, or at least as a tweener. He's coming back to reclaim. He's coming back. That's what they call if you're in between heel and babyface. He comes back. He's trying to get back his Tribal Chief crown, and it's Solo that cost him against Cody. And then he could take his break, come back around Survivor Series, bring the Usos back together against the Bloodline and War Games. Book it. And then we do Roman and Solo at Mania.
Roman and Solo at Mania. So who's the other cousin now? Which cousin? The one that's not on yet, but he signed with them. How he relates to them?
Jacob Fatu is the son of Tonga Kid. Tonga Kid is like a cousin of the Anawais, basically.
Tonga Kid.
His uncle is Rikishi.
Right. Okay, but
so he's cousins with the Usos. Okay. Tonga Kid is from the 80s. He was tag team partners with Tama Tonga's father Haku as the Islander.
Oh, okay. See, now I know who that is because I'm like, who? What? What the fuck are you saying? Who are these people's names?
You're thinking short term, Emmanuel. Short term is thinking Roman and Solo at SummerSlam. No, you do Roman Cody at SummerSlam. You do Roman Cody at SummerSlam. You do Solo and Roman at Mania next year because you got to save Roman and Rock for 42.
Yeah, because and also that they were pushing that a little before that. A lot of people don't know this. So the whole Haku connection, they kind of were not teasing it, but they were kind of pushing like Haku more. And then all of a sudden at the Hall of Fame, he was sitting with The Rock's mom. So I thought that was kind of
okay. I didn't see that. I have not watched the Hall of Fame.
I don't know, and that was like part of the design, but I thought that was kind of smart because then you're kind of familiar with, oh shit, he's connected with Haku. That's Haku's son. Oh wait, that makes sense. So I thought that was like a good job. I don't know if I don't know if it was done purposely, but I thought like to have some familiarity with Tom and them explaining that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Next,
and they had big hair, and they wore black. Did they not?
No, you're thinking of the head. You're thinking of the head shrinkers.
Damn it! Okay, so I gotta look it up now.
That's Rikishi. That's Rikishi and Samu. The Islanders were managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan back in the 80s. They used to wear like purple trunks. Haku and Tonga Kid. But let's move on to Monday Night Raw this week. The show featured Rhea Ripley, unfortunately announcing that she injured her shoulder in the attack by Liv Morgan the week prior. Due to the injury, she was forced to vacate the WWE Women's World Championship. This led to Liv Morgan coming out to laugh and mock Rhea Ripley, who was understandably pissed. It was later announced that the new champion will be decided on next Monday's show in a battle royal. We saw Liv Morgan talk a little trash and get booed out the building, not only in front of the arena, but when she had to do a promo later on in the night. And we saw the Judgment Day greet Rhea Ripley and hug her on her way out. Meanwhile, the Judgment Day had to deal with Jey Uso, who picked up a win over Finn Balor in a good matchup. They attacked Jay after the matchup as Damian Priest looked on and didn't join in the attack. Jay was able to fight back though and escape. Triple H presented Awesome Truth with the brand new World Tag Team titles in a fun little segment where Truth thought that Triple H was a magician. Then DIY defeated the New Day and the Creed brothers in a very good three-way bout to become the number one contenders for Awesome Truth next week on Monday Night Raw. And then we had Sheamus come back with his signature theme song because it's a shame for fame. Lobster head. I love that. Love that song. Too many limes. Too many lines. Sheamus picked up the win over Ivar in his return to the ring. Big meaty men slapping meat. And you had Sami Zayn make one of the greatest entrances in Monday Night Raw history as they did a one-shot from Jey Uso's post-match with the Judgment Day to Sami walking in the arena, entering for his hometown crowd of Montreal, singing his theme song. Go out of your way to watch it if you haven't already. Then Zayn defeated Chad Gable in a tremendous main event to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Post-match, though, Gable turned heel by German suplexing Sami out of his wife's damn hands at ringside. The show closed with Gable applying an ankle lock over the turnbuckle on Zayn in front of his family. I thought this was a really fun show of Monday Night Raw with a bunch of stuff happening. The Rhea Ripley injury, them using that to do a double turn of Rhea and Liv. You had Indy Hartwell turned heel. No one cared. Chad Gable turned heel.
Hold on. Indy Hartwell. I thought it was Candace should have been heel. How did Indy turn heel?
Indy's her tag team partner. She had to turn heel with her.
Oh, right, because Candace has been trying to get her to see things and try to win. See the light. Gotcha. Okay, got it.
But, it made sense. It made
sense. Yeah, but no one cares.
No one cares.
No one cares about the two of them. That's the sad part about it all. No one. It's crickets when they both come out. Sorry.
It's crickets whenever there's a women's tag team matchup on Raw. So it could be the hottest crowd ever on a Monday Night Raw. They throw a women's tag team match out there, they get real quiet. Unfortunately. Krssi Love, what did you think about Raw this week, and especially the Rhea Ripley injury? What was your reaction?
I'm super sad about Mommy's injury. And when did the injury happen now? The Raw after Mania?
It was a backstage brawl where Liv Morgan threw a chair at her head. She threw her into a wall, and that's how she injured her shoulder.
Oh, so an injury for an injury. Got it. You
shoulder for a shoulder. That's what Liv said.
You injured me, I injured you back. I see the long-term booking of stories here, friends. I mean, hey, sure. Was it on purpose? Probably not, but hey.
But do you like the double turn with Liv turning heel?
I like it. She shouldn't be champion, but I like it.
So who you think should win the Battle Royal?
Who's in the Battle Royal now?
The Raw women's roster. Becky Lynch is even coming back. She was supposed to have a vacation. She can't take. She's like John Moxley. She can't take a vacation because someone got injured.
They need her. Give it to Nia Jax. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's the best. The best two options are Liv and Nia.
I think Nia should take it. Liv. I like Liv Morgan. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like there's something that's missing. Like we need more, or I need her to like prove more, like championship. Like I don't know, something that I just can't put my finger on yet.
I'll be honest with you. I think that this was the best thing that happened to Liv Morgan's career. There was an absolutely a ceiling on Liv Morgan underdog babyface. That ceiling miraculously felt like it broke this week when they decided to use the Rhea Ripley injury to kind of lean heel with her. Because Liv Morgan, an unhinged heel, I think that is what Liv Morgan fans is going to be happy with, because then she can actually elevate past the level that she's already been at.
Yes, that sound, yeah, it's something that was missing. Like it's cute, but after a while it gets like repetitive. Like it was like we've seen the same Liv Morgan come out, haha, I'm this girl, blah 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 blah. Like, okay, great. Now what? Like, what do you do? Like, you can't really do much promo, so let's see what else you can do. But yes, this whole long-term change and her like antagonizing Rhea, and you like, oh, you injured me, so now I have to come. I have a vendetta against you. Now I have to, and then the unhinging, like you just don't know what she's gonna do. So let's see what happens. Her being champion is like, oh, okay, who is she going to go against?
Well, we got a good comment here from Queen Monet, who says Liv should win because one of her main talking points has been her being the runner-up in the Rumble twice. So her finally winning a battle royal and it being for the title is kind of poetic. That is a good point to make. I just feel like you got to solidify her as a heel. And I think that to do that, like she said in her promo, the Liv Morgan tour, the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is not over until I win the WWE Women's World Championship. I think her being a sneaky heel, acting like she got eliminated, and then coming back in and eliminating someone like Becky Lynch to win the Battle Royal on Monday is a great heel way to get heat on her as not only an unhinged heel, but also a heel that's willing to do anything to get the win and have her feud with Becky until Rhea's back.
How long that's going to take?
Shoulder injuries are different. I know, Josh, you probably could have more information about like because you had it with the torn meniscus, so I'm sure you got it with the shoulder. Injuries are different. They can be weird. Sometimes they can be a very short injury and they'll come back soon, and sometimes you're out for a full year. We've seen that with multiple shoulder injuries.
Okay.
Yeah. So with Rhea actually has a AC joint sprain. That's basically what it is.
Okay, so the sprain.
No, but it's still significantly bad.
Okay.
Usually because when you get a sprain, technically a sprain is a slightly torn muscle. That's what it is. So when you hear somebody gets a sprain, it's a torn muscle, but the difference is that you don't need surgery to repair it, depending on how bad it might be or how light it might be. Okay. Usually if you sprain a finger, you might be good. Like you don't about 2 weeks to heal. With the joint that she damaged, the problem is that it's a significant part of the shoulder that if it doesn't get properly, she's gonna need surgery. And I think that's where they're at. So what they're gonna do with Rhea is basically they're gonna have her off. Obviously she's not gonna work. They're gonna see how she heals. If she's healing properly, then she won't need surgery. But if it becomes a timetable of if it's not healing properly and it's still damaged, she's gonna need surgery. So even when it comes to that, she could be out for months. Like she could be out short time, she could be out for months, because if she gets the surgery, she's out for months. So it's a waiting. That's why she said she's gonna be out a couple of months, because it's a waiting game. They're gonna see how it heals. If it doesn't heal properly, she's gonna need surgery. So she could be out even longer than that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really going to be up to you. Like I said, I think that Liv should win the Battle Royal and then feud with Becky. But then it's about the draft of who's gonna be after Becky. If Liv is still the champion, who is she gonna feud? I think we're probably gonna see Bianca Belair or someone of that stature, a big baby face, make the move to Monday Night Raw. I think they probably shift Bianca, Jade, and Damage Control over to Monday Night Raw.
Okay. To add more eyes over there, but then who goes to SmackDown?
Probably Nia Jax. Nia Jax, you put over on SmackDown because that shifts everything. Because you have right now they have, like we said, Bayley and Naomi and Tiffany. You could do that triple threat at Backlash. Then you could do Tiffany and Bayley at Clash at the Castle, and then by then Bayley will need a fresh challenger. Nia Jax is there. That gets you all the way to SummerSlam, basically.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, that's legit.
Then we got a super chat donation from Belle. Thank you so much, Belle. She says, "I'm still not convinced Solo is Tribal Chief. I still think it's DJ and Solo is just taking orders to throw Roman and the Usos off. I definitely think that The Rock is the final boss. He's the real boss, but Solo, you're interim boss. You're interim boss of the bloodline. I think that's how it's working with them."
I like that.
We got another super chat donation from Chuck Berries. Once again, thank you so much, Chuck Berries. He says, "Not a fan of having a straight up battle royal for a major title. I was definitely disappointed. Like, you literally have a pay-per-view, in 2 weeks? You could have done some qualifying matches, do a semifinals on next week's show, and do the finals at Backlash. You could have done a mini tournament or at least a 4-way matchup or something, not a battle royal. Battle royal does seem kind of corny to crown the new champion, and it feels kind of rushed in general to crown a new champion."
I think it does, but I'm just going on the fact of there may be something that they wanted. Maybe there was a set plan, so that's why they're going with the battle royal. I do agree they should have done maybe a tournament, because
Definitely
it just
did a
felt like
tournament. I hate the royal.
it felt like it was a little. It felt like it was a little too soon, because I was just like, what? I was like, they're just already having. I was like, all right, cool, I guess. I mean, I wasn't mad at it, but it just felt weird, because I was just like, yo, you had your champion be champion for over a year, and then now you're just gonna crown it by a battle royal the next week. That's kind of I don't know. It just kind of feels like you broke up a relationship and then you got to a new one
the next week.
The next week. What the fuck? That's how I felt. But I think they have some kind of set plan, and I think that's why they're going with it. Yeah, I think that's why they're doing it. In regards to in regards to who wins it, it's a tricky one, because if you go with Liv, right, then that solidifies, I guess, her heel turn, right? Yeah. If you go with Nia, I think she's done enough. I think Nia has done enough that she could still be a badass champion, because as critical as I've been on Nia, her second run has been way better than what she was doing before that. So, I mean, I always give credit when it's due. They presented her very well, so I wouldn't be mad at that. But would I be surprised if they gave the fucking belt to Becky Lynch? No, I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me.
No, nobody would. But that is the least interesting option.
It is.
That's probably the best option. Don't get me wrong. That's probably the best option, but that's probably the least interesting option.
Yeah, no, it is the least interesting option. The only way that happens is if you have her be, what do you call that? A holder, and then you have Liv beat Becky for the title. That's the only way I would see that working. But again, when it comes to the battle royal itself, I lean over with Nia. I think if you have her do that, would be great. With Liv, you could make her champion too, but I do think you probably need some more, because she just turned heel, and this is her whole thing of getting revenge. If you have a big face win the championship and then she gets that title, I think that will probably build up more to her heel turn, and then that will solidify her heel turn once she gets the title.
Yeah.
As previously reported, Rhea suffered the injury in that backstage brawl, but PW Insider had more details on her injury. According to the report, Ripley's shoulder was hurt when she was thrown into the wall during a backstage brawl segment with Liv Morgan. It said that the impact injured the AC joint where Ripley's collarbone and right shoulder are connected. The timeline for Ripley's recovery has reportedly not been confirmed in WWE eternally. It will be dependent on if the injury requires surgery along with physical therapy. The injury was said to be a freak occurrence, and the chair shot was not the cause of the injury. Ripley was forced to relinquish her title after holding the belt for 380 days. Fightful Select also reported that in regards to the move to have Rhea Ripley vacate her title, the decision was made last week that the title would be relinquished. Additionally, it said that Liv Morgan doesn't have any heat for the injury, so that is a good thing. She doesn't have any heat for it because I was ready to call her Reckless Liv. I'm sorry.
Right.
Nick Khan had given some updates on WWE's PLE location plans, and especially for WrestleMania, considering Las Vegas for its location. The WWE president spoke with SBJ World Congress of Sports on Wednesday, and the Sporting Tribune shared some comments that Khan made. According to Mark Krssi, who is one of the reporters of the Sporting Tribune, Khan said that next year's WrestleMania 41 would not go against the NCAA Men's Final Four, and that Las Vegas was one of the cities under consideration for the show. Khan said that fans could assume it wouldn't be in an outdoor East Coast stadium again. The WWE president also noted
that we froze our asses off. That's why. Shit. Like, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Khan noted that the Big Four PLEs, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and the Royal Rumble will continue to be in the U.S. and Canada for the foreseeable future, and that other pay-per-views, including Elimination Chamber, Backlash, King of the Ring, may be held internationally. Those three pay-per-views are taking place or have done so in 2024, with Elimination Chamber coming from Australia, Backlash taking place in France, and King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring taking place in Saudi Arabia, the latter both next month. Fightful Select has an update on next year's WrestleMania 41 events. The WWE usually announces the venue and location for the next WrestleMania about a year out from the show, but that was not the case this year. Fightful Select reports that several sources close to Minnesota government have at times said that the Minneapolis was the front runner for the event, landing the event, and that they were hoping to make the announcement official soon. However, the report also notes that there is some within WWE still pushing for Las Vegas as the host city for WrestleMania 41. Nick Khan also said that it's unlikely WWE would hold WrestleMania in an outdoor Northeast location again due to the cold weather issues at this year's WrestleMania 40 from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Fightful Select reports that if WWE does opt to take WrestleMania to Minneapolis, Minnesota, many options are being discussed with regards to the cold weather. It should be noted that the U.S. Bank Stadium, home of the Minnesota Vikings, does have at least a roof. In what would be one of the biggest significant changes to the event, Fightful Select reports that the idea of holding WrestleMania in the month of May has also been discussed. WWE has not yet made the plans for WrestleMania 41 official as of yet. Yo, WrestleMania in May would be crazy to me. It was crazy to me when I was a kid and they moved it to April. But to move it to, like, it was in March for most of my childhood. And then they moved it to April one year. I was like, wow, this is different. If they move it a month later to May, I'd be like, yo, you totally warped my mind on that.
Yeah, don't move it. But no, I knew for a fact that WrestleMania will never be on the Northeast ever again. Ever again. Mind you, WrestleMania 35 was chilly, but it was nowhere near how cold Philly was. I can only attest to that because I froze my ass off sitting in the nosebleeds of that arena.
You were close to God. God was keeping you warm.
Yep. Didn't know we could bring blankets till people had blankets there. No one prepared us. But
So
hey,
you're voting for Vegas for next year.
I vote Vegas. Like if it doesn't have a dome on it, don't do it. Like if you're not, first of all, I don't know how we're in the East Coast. We have locations that don't have a dome. Like we don't have like a roof or nothing. Or like we live like I already know it's not going to be in Wisconsin because Wisconsin is cold.
But
Cheeseland.
Minneapolis does have a roof. So
okay, well if you can guarantee the roof, fine. I'm more pushing for Vegas because there's more stuff to do in Vegas and it'll be more fun. But sure.
Priorities, ladies and gentlemen.
Priorities.
Krssi love priorities. PW Insider reports that Drew McIntyre and WWE have yet to agree to a new deal, and his contract is said to be very close to expiring. One source said that the deal expires around 5 to 6 weeks from now, and WWE is now working to make sure a new deal is done to prevent McIntyre from becoming a free agent if the two sides don't agree. He would be free to go anywhere in late May or early June, and both parties have been in talks for the past several weeks. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch is another huge contract that is set to expire. WWE recently made changes in talent relations, as previously noted, to prevent deals from being so close to expiring before negotiations begin. Chris Lingiti, as well as Matthew Altman, were moved to talent relations for that purpose, and WWE is also working hard to make sure Becky Lynch signs a new deal before her contract is up. She is believed to have around 8 weeks left, but that's not totally confirmed at this time. I mean, what's the percentage we're putting on this week? It feels like every week we're asking about Drew. Now we're putting it on Becky. At Drew, I think I'm still at no, I'm actually raised to 80%. I was at 75%. Now I'm at 80%. Drew is re-signing. Becky Lynch, I will put it at 85%.
85% for sure. She's signing back. She's they're loyal. Her and Seth are loyal. They're not going anywhere.
So you put, what do you put Drew at? Where's Drew at for you?
Drew, after his failed, win for 5 minutes, and
he probably loved that.
Who, me?
No, Drew.
Oh,
Drew probably loved it. He loved that. It was the big heel, and he got his comeuppance at WrestleMania. That was a big moment.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big win. Like it was great to see it done. And then when you seen the cash,
what I'm trying to say is I don't think these guys care that much about wins and losses or anything that.
No.
But he was a part of a big moment at WrestleMania. That's what matters to him.
The Drew, I say, what did we say for Becky? We said what, 85?
Yeah.
So Drew, I put 75 right now.
You're still at 75?
Mm-hmm. 75,
Josh,
80.
Where are you on Becky and Drew?
Drew, I said last week, I said 65%. I'm going to raise it up a little bit. I'm going to go 70%.
just a little?
Yeah, just 5%. Just because the closer it gets, it's like, damn, they're still not close to a deal. So 70%, because I still think he stays. I'm gonna be the high man on this. I'm gonna say 100%. I really don't see her going anywhere. I really don't. So I think she stays.
Honestly, it's not a choice of AEW, WWE for Becky Lynch. It's a choice of WWE or retirement.
Yeah. So
she's done everything. She's not going to AEW. She's done everything she can in WWE. Honestly, it would be Becky Lynch deciding to end her career.
Which can be kind of crazy because I still think she has a lot to offer. And she'll be getting a lot of money. I mean, that's a whole lot of money to leave on the table just to say, "Oh, I retire." So, I think she resigns, and I think this will be her last contract when she signs.
I agree with that part. Speaking of the Chad Gable heel turn that we saw on Monday Night Raw, he's been working a lot with the Creeds as of late, and they've been on a losing end of several matches, but things are about to turn around, it seems, as according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there are plans for Brutus and Julius Creed to take part in a new faction with Chad Gable. This means that the two would be turning heel in the near future, like Gable did on Monday's Raw. It remains to be seen what happens with Ivy Nile, who is aligned with the Creeds and Otis, as well as Maxine and Akira Tozawa, who is also aligned with Gable in the Alpha Academy. So do you think we get a Team Gable, Josh, as American Alpha 2.0 or Team Angle 2.0?
Probably Team Alpha 2.0.
I want to say Team Alpha.
Yeah, because I mean, I like Chad. The Creed Bros have some talent. And I know there's one of those, right? One of the Creed brothers there's like a lot of stock in him. Like a lot of people believe, like, oh yeah, he's a future WrestleMania main eventer. I don't see it at this point. I have not seen it. That's just me.
Gable?
Who, Gable?
No. One of the Creed brothers.
Julius Creed.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I thought you were saying
and it's
Gable.
like
Gable. Don't
no.
talk about Gable like that, sir.
No, it has to do with Gable. It has to do with the other Creed brother, where everyone's like they praise him, but I'm like, they're not doing anything with them for me to say like, yeah, I feel confident this is gonna happen. A heel faction could help. It'll make them interesting again because the Creed brothers had some momentum when they got drafted. I mean, not drafted, when they got roster, they had some momentum, and then after that tag team championship match, they've been kind of dead in the water ever since. So to do something, I do like the heel turn for Chad. It was bound to happen, and the way it happened was hilarious. So
and it's another example of there was definitely a ceiling on underdog babyface Chad Gable. No matter how much Romeo tried to fool y'all on this channel, Chad Gable wasn't going to do anything as a babyface in this company.
No.
But
at that point,
him as a heel, kind of finding his Kurt Angle heel run, this is what he needed.
And he's entertaining as fuck. So I think him being a heel could do some wonders for him. He's never been bad. It's always a matter of opportunity. He just hasn't had the big opportunities that people feel like he deserves. And this could be something, this could be a road to that. So excited to see what they do with it.
Agreed.
So that means he leaves poor Maxine and Otis behind, huh?
Yeah, I mean, sure, fuck them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who cares?
I was kind of sick of the whole Alpha Academy thing, and I mean, but not sick of it, but like I think they kind of like dumbed it down per se, if that makes sense. Like it was cute for a little while, but then it's like, all right, okay, sure.
All right, I'm over this now.
Yeah.
NXT this week, the show featured Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes in their NXT Stand and Deliver rematch. Pretty good steel cage match with Trick Williams picking up the victory as he gains momentum. He gains momentum for NXT Spring Breakin', where he gets a shot at the NXT Championship with his NXT career on the line. Speaking of which, NXT champion Ilya Dragunov had a super fun competitive bout with the newest star of NXT, Javon Evans. You also had Noam Dar. He picked up a win over Dijak in a rock-solid opener, while Tony D'Angelo revealed that the D'Angelo family were hired by the No Quarter Catch Crew to kill Drew Gulak. But the NQCC didn't pay the family for their services, so this led to a brawl that when they declined to pay and set up a trios matchup for next week's Spring Breakin' show. Yes, the D'Angelo family killed Drew Gulak because he touched Ronda Rousey's sweatpants.
This was in the storyline.
Not the sweatpants part, but that's the reason why they wrote him off by having him killed.
Interesting. Okay, great.
They took him off TV. They took him off TV because he apparently doesn't know the difference between handshakes and fixing someone's drawstrings.
So they kill him off. They kill him off. That's sounds like HBK.
Yeah, sounds like Sean.
Don't do Sean like that. Oh man, Sean,
Speaking of Trick
chicken bottle.
Williams, speaking of Trick Williams, he is not expected to be called up to the main roster in this year's WWE draft, according to a new According to a new report from Fightful Select's Corey Brenner. The report says that despite some discussions of potentially bringing Williams up in the draft, sources in NXT have indicated that barring any last-minute challenge, Williams is not under consideration to be drafted. The report notes that the main roster officials are high on Williams, but that Williams is planned to be a focus of NXT programming after the draft. The report notes that there have been pitches for a feud in the summer with Dijak, though that is not set in stone due to Dijak's current contract status. Several people in NXT and on the main roster have said that Trick's talent level have yet to plateau and think that time as the face of NXT will do him some good. And several staff on the main roster have their eyes on Williams, and he has always been well received backstage. He has been brought to SmackDown about once per quarter to do matches or segments. And the report also notes that according to production sources, Williams' theme song was stock music that wasn't being used when he made his debut. As said before, he will challenge Ilya Dragunov for the NXT championship with the stipulation that if he loses, he must leave NXT. What do y'all think about Trick Williams spending one more year on the NXT brand? Krssi Love?
I think that's great for him. You know, give him more work, help him out, and then, you know, he can go. I mean, you don't need the draft to like get pushed up. Like they'll can just like take you and like put you up there anyway. Like they don't really need the draft, but give him a few more months there, like at least 6 months. I think by the end of the year, he should be all right to come up.
I agree. I think a year is going to be good because he has charisma at 100, but he's still green in the ring.
He's just still very green. And yes, it is very, very, very green in the ring. That's why I was just like, he beat Melo again. Like, I understand Philly.
Melo's getting called up. Melo's ready.
Melo been ready. You're absolutely right. I just hope that he doesn't get lost in the sauce. I hope he gets I hope he's not Ricochet.
I mean, he has way more charisma than Ricochet, to be fair. He has way more charisma. He can talk better than Ricochet has, though. He could be a heel. Ricochet can't be a heel at this point.
True. So. You're right. You're right. But what I mean career wise, I don't want him to be like lost in the shuffle and be in the mid card reign.
That's fair.
That's what I mean.
Stardom founder Rossi Agawa announced the launch of his new promotion this week's Marigold. It will have their first event on May 20th. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Marigold has a working relationship with WWE. And Julia, who is believed to be headed to WWE, will work for both companies. Julia's deal is not finalized at this time due to visa issues. The plan is for her to work for both companies for a period of time before she and her family move to the United States. Either way, Marigold expects to work with WWE and have Julia appear on several shows per year. WWE flew Julia and Agawa to WrestleMania 40 to make the deal, and it was noted that Agawa is hoping to get Io Sky and Kairi Sane for a major Marigold event this summer. There have been talks back in late 2023 of Agawa working with WWE in some capacity, and at the time he told Triple H that he would be starting a new promotion soon. It was noted that Agawa is the sole owner of Marigold, and WWE does not have any kind of stake in it. They also did not put any money into the new promotion. As for Julia, it was previously reported that she will be debuting on July 7th in Toronto and would challenge for the NXT Women's Championship. However, she does not have a working visa at this time. It's possible that she could work the event without it. The belief is that once she starts with WWE, with the exception of prior commitment, she will no longer work in Japan for anyone other than Marigold. She will also get a family support staff that will move to Florida with her, and a residency has already been set up. As per the report by Corey Brenner of Fightful Select, it is believed that Julia will head to the WWE Performance Center towards the end of June or early July, with her first match scheduled for July 7th NXT Heat Wave event. She is expected to challenge for one of the NXT Women's Championships, either the NXT Women's Championship or the new newly christened NXT Women's North American Championship. She extends to stick with her ring name, although there are no intentions to keep her current theme music at this time.
Okay.
Josh, what do you think about Marigold working with WWE, and should fans be excited about WWE finally working with another promotion in Japan?
To your second question first, no. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, am I really surprised that this is a thing now? No, because the speculation when he got fired was, oh, he's going to WWE. So this is basically close enough to that, to those rumors, right? I mean, right? So when it, I mean, if they do things right, if it works out for them, that's good. Obviously Rossi has had a huge influence of the Japanese women who've gone to WWE. So I'm to give them something back. I mean, I think that's fair when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, as far as is it going to work? I don't know. Just because we've seen the history of WWE working with other promotions and it never works out. So this might be different just because Rossi has done favors for them before. But again, WWE, every time they're in a work relationship, we see what happens. So we'll wait and see. I'll wait and see what happens.
Since I see people asking me to talk about it or bring it up here, Kenny Omega made some comments about Rossi making his new promotion, and he said, and I quote during his Twitch stream last night, "From someone who lived it, breathed it, who has very close friends in the industry. I don't necessarily mean the wrestling industry. I mean the industry, the government issued press, the information they know. I'm just going to leave it at that. I would say don't be so quick to listen to praise for that individual, because someday, I'm not sure when it will be, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday people will know the truth. What they do with that truth, I don't know. Will they share it? Maybe. A lot of the higher ups in Japan, they know exactly what I'm talking about." He then later said, "My comments on Rossi are whatever. There is nothing to say. I just think eventually, I don't care about Rossi being an E-drone. That's no big deal. He's done. That's not even the tip. Just you freaking wait. If you still interested in wrestling, you're listening to the stories and reading stuff. When it finally comes out, I will say one thing. There are a lot of people who refuse to work with him for that same reason. Some of those people are in WWE, some are in AEW. They have a very good reason. It's not just, I decided to wake up and not like this guy. If you want to know along what lines they tread amongst, the dude just flat out said, we're looking for girls ages 13 to 21 that don't have a boyfriend and aren't married. We already know he puts underage girls in very revealing swimsuit calendars and books. I wish that was all he did. Let's put it this way. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I'm not going on record to say anything. I don't want lawyers barking up at my door. That's why I don't say anything. I don't have any sort of video evidence. I just have the good word of people who are very close. I'm outside of it. If those people feel like commenting or saying something, whatever. For now, I'll say that people going to Marigold, good luck. I hope you have a great time. I hope it works out for you. For me, it would be very hesitant. I would be very hesitant. Jesus.
This is from Kenny Omega.
Omega.
Yes. Then he ended with, my only comment is, I'm with Asuka. That's it. We are bros. I always have been. She has her reasons. They are probably the same ones as mine. And of course, Asuka previously stated that Stardom was created to defeat her, and that is why she never worked for Stardom.
Wait, hold on. What? How do we get here?
Wow. Thank y'all to the chat for making me look that up, because Jesus. Jesus.
Right now? What?
That's some good shit from.
Wow.
When it comes to Kenny, and Kenny, the way that Kenny is, he's just not going to say anything. He's just not going to say any type of bullshit if it wasn't bullshit. So This is pretty significant. That's crazy. Holy shit.
Holy shit. I did not know any of that until y'all told me to look it up. Thank you to the chat. This is why we interact with the chat, folks. Because if y'all want us to talk about something or bring it up here, we will. I'll look it up. I did not expect to read all that. We'll talk about more about Rossi, I guess, in the weeks to come and see the WWE final WWE note. We got to finally finish up with WWE here. WWE draft takes place later this month. A new report had some details on how NXT will play into it. It will take place starting on next week's Friday Night SmackDown and continue on the Raw thereafter. Fightful Select had more details, noting that the roster shuffling event has, as in years past, been planned to take place the week of the NFL draft in order to capitalize on media focus. The report notes that sources close to NXT have indicated that the potential of main roster talent coming to NXT in the draft is possible. The final testament, Ivar and Natalia appearing on last week's NXT, and that set the stage for other main roster stars to potentially be drafted over as WWE renews their focus on making NXT the third brand and not just the developmental brand. Fightful Select's Corny Brenner reports that the next 2 weeks of programming will focus on the draft as they lead into NXT Spring Breaking. In terms of NXT talent that are potentially going to Raw or SmackDown, several talent have been told by Shawn Michaels that he isn't yet certain who will be drafted from the brand, although Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov are said to be a lock for such. Roxanne Perez's potential roster move status is still uncertain, and the D'Angelo family and Baron Corbin have also been talked about as potential draftees. Who do you think is a lock from NXT? Give me one person to go from NXT to Raw. Give me one person from NXT to go to SmackDown. Krssi Love.
One person from SmackDown to go to NXT? Is that what you just said?
One person from NXT to go to Raw. One person from NXT to go to SmackDown.
Okay. I see Roxanne Perez go. Well, no, she's champion, so she can't go yet. Well, that doesn't mean anything either, though.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Because Indy Hartwell left. Yeah, Indy Hartwell was a champion for like 2 seconds, and they drafted her to SmackDown, to Raw. Okay, so Roxanne Perez goes to SmackDown, and then Roxanne goes to Raw, and then Carmella goes to SmackDown.
I'm going to go with Ilya Dragunov to SmackDown, Carmelo Hayes to Raw.
Okay.
Josh?
I actually have it backwards. I have Dragunov going to Raw, and I have Melo going to SmackDown.
That's fair. That is fair.
You got to put over there.
Give us some in the chat. Each person in the chat, let us know in the chat. Give us one person from NXT to Raw, one person from NXT to SmackDown. We'll highlight the best ones in the chat and keep sending those super chat donations. I saw you, Will Chisholm, in the chat. Everybody been sending their support except for you. I'm calling you out.
Because
send a super chat.
because Roxanne, I think she stays a little bit longer. I don't just because I think
Trick. She got to still get better.
No, I mean her stuff is great. She doesn't need to work on her ring stuff, in my opinion, but she needs to work on her character. She needs to work on her charisma. That's where she still needs work on, in my opinion.
And I think she's better as a tail one than the baby face, to be honest.
Yeah. She is. No, she is. Yeah, she is. She's a better heel.
She's a better heel. And you see more, because before you didn't know what she was. Like, who are you? Like we said on Seven Face Hill, what is your character? What are we supposed? I know that you were in Booker T's training camp. He brought you up. Great. Now what? What's happening? Facts. Now that you're a heel and you have more fire underneath your ass, we like this one much better.
Yeah, and some, I'm not gonna lie, some of her talking segments before were very cringe, because at first she wasn't comfortable. She was trying, but then when you put that on live TV, I mean, like, Jesus, like, you're just trying to set the girl up for a failure.
Kind of does work like that.
Are we gonna send any of the veterans? Are we sending any veterans back to NXT, like how Baron Corbin is flourishing over there?
If I had to think of anybody on the main roster who could take the move to NXT, Cameron Grimes, just send him back to NXT. He needs it. Just send him back to NXT.
They're not using him.
They're not using him. Send Meechin to NXT. Meechin would benefit from being on the NXT brand. And Tegan Knox back on NXT.
Okay. People that are not even being used. Great.
Yeah, people that are not being used on the main roster, just send them back to NXT. It seems to work. It worked out nicely for Baron Corbin. Now I want Corbin on SmackDown with Braun.
Right. Like I feel like they would be great tag champions on SmackDown or Raw, whichever one.
I would put them as the favorites to beat A-Town Down Under. You saying Street Profits? I'm like, that's too soon. Build up the Wolf Dogs to be the ones to dethrone A-Town Down Under.
And then they'll both be babyface. That'll be a babyface tag team.
Yeah,
ooh. That's interesting.
Because they like Braun. I mean, whatever the child name is. They like y'all.
Braun
like
Breaker.
him I like him for whatever reason.
Braun Steiner.
Braun, yeah. And he just wears too much tan for me. He's just too tanned. I just don't know I just don't understand him.
Tan. I mean, he's trying hard to be black at this point. So
you're absolutely. I mean,
Dominican.
with his fresh beard lineup. We gotta move over to the Converse and talk about AEW Dynamite this week. The show featured the final words from both Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe ahead of their AEW World Title match at AEW Dynasty.
Even the eyeliner, son, like, bro, like, God, I thought it was just like once in a blue, but now it's like every fucking week. Like, bro, like I need you to like calm down on the fucking eye makeup, bro. Seriously.
This led to a face-to-face where Swerve Strickland delivered a swerve stomp to 8 security guards and did a superhero landing, who tried to prevent them from brawling. However, their brawl ended with Samoa Joe getting the upper hand, laying out Swerve Strickland with the muscle buster to stand tall ahead of the pay-per-view. Jon Moxley made his return to AEW for the first time since Revolution as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He challenged the Don Callis family's powerhouse Hobbs for next Wednesday's main event. Speaking of the Don Callis family,
another match Hobbs have to lose. They're gonna have to put some respect on Hobbs' name, son. Like he's out here just getting L's upon L's upon L's. Oh, I'm so sorry. My bad.
Will Ospreay beat Claudio Castagnoli in a sensational speed versus power matchup. Post-match, the Don Callis family attacked Claudio until Moxley made the save, much to the dismay of Ospreay. Deonna Purrazzo defeated Mariah May in a decent bout. Post-match, it was Thunder Rosa who came out to make the save as Timeless Toni Storm attacked Deonna, and Thunder Rosa got a measure of revenge on the champion. Chris Jericho brokered a meeting with Hook, and Hook turned down Jericho's offer until he got more and more rude and pushed down Hook's dad, Taz. This led to Hook getting in his face and challenging Jericho for a match at AEW Dynasty. You also had the Elites, Katsuchika Okada, and the Young Bucks defeat Daniel Garcia, Penta El Zero Mero, and Pac in a banger of a trios matchup. Post-match, the Elite attacked Garcia, Penta with a ladder until Pac made the save with the ring bell hammer. Any thoughts on this week's AEW Dynamite? I thought it was a much improvement from the last 2 trash weeks. I'm sorry. 2 weeks ago wasn't trash, but you had a 60-year-old fucking daddy ass beat up Jay White for 11 minutes. And then last week's show, I think, was objectively one of the worst Dynamite shows of all time.
Ciao.
Krssi, any thoughts on this week's Dynamite?
Didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I only saw like highlights.
Josh, any comments? I know you were watching it live. What stood out the most for you?
I mean, it was really good. I like the standoff between Swerve and Joe. They do some great stuff. I think they have some great chemistry when it comes to like the segments, and I think the match is going to be great anyway. But then that stomp he did, oh my god, that was like one of the best spots I've ever seen. Like he did, and the way he landed, I think that's what made it great too. It was the landing because
he landed like Cyclops in episode 1 of X-Men 97.
That's exactly how he landed, and I was like, holy shit, like it was great. And then everything else, I thought the show was great. I thought the show was definitely improvement from last week. I think last week the problem last week was because of the whole Tate thing. People were waiting for that, and then it happened. You got what you wanted. So I didn't pay attention to llast week. Like I didn't pay attention. Like after the tape rolled, I didn't pay attention to the show last week. This week there was more focus. I was able to watch the matches. The trios matches were fun.
Oh man,
yeah, what happened?
It was Eric Bischoff and Jim Cornette. It was like Josh is talking way too positive about AEW. Let's get him the fuck up out of here. We'll wait for Josh to come back. We got Frantic World who said Swerve came down like Batman. That is how Batman used to beat up a lot of his villains.
He sure was.
He would jump out of a high place, jump on them, and then it would all be defeated. Frantic World said to me in my mogul episode. That was great. That's one of your best comments yet, Frantic World. We also got here Big Man Dogs. He says Bischoff says shut him down. Shut him down. But yes, I enjoyed this week's Dynamite. Go out of your way to watch Ospreay and Claudio. Krssi Love. I did see that. I did. No, I I had to go watch him. I watched that on the ride home. But I was my Wi-Fi was like going in and out or whatever, so I couldn't really like watch it.
Look at this guy. He wants to comment now after I leave. Look at that. What a cow. Look at this. What a chicken shit. What a complete chicken shit.
I said Eric Bischoff and Jim Cornette says shut him down. He's talking too positive about AEW. Shut this shit down.
Well, they could both eat a dick. To be fair, so.
Ooh, wow, whoa.
Big D Ospreay, we learned that a couple of weeks ago. Finisher, longtime Tru Heel Heat fan. They know if you were watching that episode. Krssi Love remembers the most. After signing two of the best singles male wrestlers in the world, Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, after signing one of the biggest female stars in the world, it looks like AEW might be signing one of the biggest tag teams in the world, as the Motor City Machine Guns are close to signing with All Elite Wrestling, according to a new report. According to our good friend at bodyslam.net, Cassidy Haynes, he reports that Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin are finalizing a deal to sign with AEW. The report notes that there will likely be a period before the deal is closed, but that the two are set to have already made their decision and specifics are being worked out. The Machine Guns recently became free agents, exiting TNA after finishing out their commitments with the company at late March tapings. They were still set to appear on this week's Impact. That was their final match with the company, and the Guns worked a match with AEW at All Out 2022, teaming with Jay Lethal against Wardlow and FTR in a trios bout. Krssi Love, what do you think about the Motor City Machine Guns potentially coming to All Elite Wrestling?
I think that's actually fantastic. I'm excited to see what they will bring to AEW. Maybe they'll put more tag team on the map over there.
I mean, they're like one of the most revolutionary tag teams. Their influence on the Young Bucks, Private Party, Top Flight, the Lucha Bros is already seen if you've seen any of their matches. So I think they're going to be a big addition. Do you think we get the Motor City Machine Guns at Dynasty, Josh?
To introduce them, maybe. That'd be fun to see. And I think they're making the best move, possibly, to be honest with you. I didn't see them going to WWE. Like I said prior.
Absolutely not. They don't need to be there.
Not only that, but Chris Sabin was presented as a coach. And I think that's the ceiling that they have with Sabin. They feel like he's more of a teacher than a performer.
A star, yeah.
So I think they're making the best decisions for themselves. They still get to perform. And they're a heavy influence on the tag division. And I think wrestling in general. I don't think they get enough credit for that. So it's a fantastic move. And hopefully, if they show up at Dynasty, that'd be cool to see.
I think they show up next Wednesday, Dynamite. We get a big championship celebration and introduction for the newest member of the Elite. And then the Machine Guns interrupt as the next challengers for the titles. But it seems like that he won't be the only the Machine Guns won't be the only arrivals in AEW coming up this week, possibly, as there are some returns being teased and speculated. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Jack Perry has finished up his time with New Japan Pro Wrestling after his match with Shota Umino at Windy City Riot. Perry lost that match in Chicago with his entrance going viral. He has now have a top-selling t-shirt, as they have sold out all his t-shirts on his website, and has a top-selling item on New Japan Pro Wrestling shop. The Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that Perry is expected to return to All Elite Wrestling imminently. Perry's name was used in AEW programming as of late, with the Young Bucks defending him over the All In footage that aired last week. Perry has been suspended since All In when he had a backstage altercation with CM Punk, which resulted in Punk being fired and him being suspended. Do you think we get the scapegoat tomorrow night at AEW Dynasty, Miss Krssi Love?
Sorry, I was unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would hope so. Like, bring him back. Justice for him. He deserves better than this.
Justice for Jack. Justice for Jack.
We stand with him.
We stand with the scapegoat.
Wait, so does he come back as like the heel that he was when he left?
He's the heel. Yeah, he got to be. He's got not the heel that he was before he left. The heel that he was before he left had no charisma. This guy got charisma now. He found it in Japan. I want that guy. I want the guy that was at Windy City Riot, not the guy that was here before. Okay. We got another return that has been possibly being speculated as of late in MJF. PW Insider reports that MJF is still employed by All Elite Wrestling, even though he's not listed on the company's website roster and hasn't been seen since December. The former AEW World Champion has been working to recover from multiple injuries, but is said to be locked into a deal with AEW. He did not attend AEW Big Business in Boston several weeks back, but he did meet with AEW officials in the city the day after. However, he hasn't been backstage since he was written out, and there's no word on when he'll return. I know when Dynasty was announced, Dynasty is a word that has been kind of associated with MJF in the past. He had a stable by that same name in MLW. Josh, do you think we get MJF at Dynasty?
I'm going to go with yes. I could be wrong as fuck, but I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah, I was going to say yes too, but you know. We can always be wrong. It's like whatever.
Hey, it's whatever. Yeah, it's just guessing and predicting. That's what we do on this show. We are naturally going to be wrong a few times, guys. Don't worry. Carlos, they added a new name to All Elite Wrestling as well this week. Carlos Cabrera joined their Spanish commentary team.
Oh, I was saying he from the old sorry, my bad.
WWE. He was with WWE for 20 years. From 1993 to 2022, he was part of the WWE Spanish announce team, and he signed with AEW this week. And then last bit of news before we finish up with AEW, Tony Khan had some comments during the AEW Dynasty media conference call in regards to being asked about airing the CM Punk Jack Perry footage and if AEW would think about getting another head booker. On TBS being happy with the performance of Dynamite last week, he says, after the ratings came in, it felt like when TBS called me and told me, good job. You have to remember, I'm responsible for everybody's job in the company. It's really important for us to please the network, and TBS was really happy with that show and that performance. That is the most important. Our fan feedback on the show, the rating is the number one source for fan feedback in the end. The network and they were incredibly pleased. On the numbers for the segment, it was 400,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic, and that was a strong performance. That is how TBS judges the show. How TBS judges the show is the most important metric I have for the performance. On potentially stepping down and hiring someone else as booker, he said, that's a great question. Well, I would certainly at some point, we'd have to see where we're at. I think with all positions, nobody lasts forever. And eventually that's something, with any position in any organization I'm in, that will be a reality. I think whether it's the Jaguars or Forum, or Fulham or AEW or True Media, you know, I won't be here forever. So, you know, it's definitely one of the highlights of my life being able to get involved in these shows and work on these shows and do creative planning. I'm having more fun than ever right now and really loved last week's show. I thought last night was a really strong go homes dynamite leading into this pay-per-view. And, you know, I take it year to year, moment to moment, and I'm really loving what we're doing right now. I'm only 41 years old, and I feel like the company is in a really strong place, and some of the greatest wrestlers in the world are very loyal to me personally, and I really am very proud of that. And hopefully I can continue to do my best to repay them. And I think right now the company is in a very strong place. That was the long version of no, he's not going to replace himself with somebody else. It should be worth noting, though, that the AEW is in a very strong place, as Forbes recently ranked AEW as the number 3 most valuable combat sports promotion behind UFC and WWE. All Elite Wrestling was valued at $2 billion for a 5-year company. That's insane.
No, that's great.
Impressive.
That's impressive. Like number 3.
Number 3 combat sports behind UFC and WWE. So it's really number 2 because UFC and WWE are 1.
Technically, if you want to put, you know,
they're TKO.
Yeah.
TKO's number
right,
1.
They've been brought out, right?
AEW's number 2.
Yep.
I think it was a worldwide thing. So I think number 4 was Championship 1. I think they were number 4.
Yeah. Very impressive. Very impressive number. $2 billion.
I like it. I mean, that's great for them. And they like only 5 years old. Like, you're doing so much, and only in 5 years. And look at you guys. I'm sure you can get way better in 5 more.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah,
this year when he gets this, if he's able to get this TV media rights deal, he set up AEW for like the next decade if he gets that deal.
Once he gets that deal, it's over. Like, because that's what's holding him back, is he needs a deal. He needs some type of streaming somewhere, so people can go and rewatch your stuff. I mean, yeah, you can watch it on Bleacher.
I'm strictly talking. I'm not even talking about what's the deal going to be, you know, about. I'm talking about the money for the deal. It's going to be a $1 billion deal that basically is setting up AEW, and AEW can officially probably document that they've made a profit because they haven't been able to do that yet.
True.
So I'm that's a good news, a good number for AEW. So good news ahead of Dynasty. But his whole answer to that Booker question was complete bullshit.
What was the question?
It was would he think about having someone else replace him as Booker? And he's like, I'm loving how I'm doing. And I have mad people that are loyal to me. And it's this and that, and this and that, and that, and the third. You're not answering the question. It's no. It's obviously no.
You obviously need someone to help you, or you need to sit in on the side.
I think that's why the question was asked, because it is at a point where we're like, you kind of probably need someone to kind of step in and help guide you in a right way.
Show, at least like sit next to you and like show you what to do, like an apprenticeship. Like, I don't know, someone needs to like sit next to you and show you how booking should be done. Just saying. Maybe
at times, because I think there's more good than bad with Tony Khan when it comes to booking. There's a lot of shit that, of course, he needs to clean up and he needs to do.
I think that Tony Khan is a good matchmaker. I don't think he's a good booker.
I mean, that's fair. I think that's a fair take.
But you're good at seeing the eye of like wrestlers. I'm happy that you're hiring people that should be hired. You're letting these people do what you're letting these people wrestle. With that being said, sir, I need you to get more people that can write stories and book the shit out of this company, because there's so much potential there. It's just getting lost.
Because like we really haven't heard of anything, like, despite like people being complimentary of, you know, Tony Khan's ability to make great pay-per-view cards and great cards for, you know, dynamites and collisions, we have not heard of anybody like praising a Tony Khan created storyline. That's what a booker does. It creates a story that is money generating for the company. It makes a star that is money generating for the company. And Tony Khan really hasn't done that. Like, his best programs in the company history, CM Punk and MJF. a lot of the credit for that go to both guys because both guys put a lot of their ideas into that whole program. The other big program that's complimented, the Elite storyline with Hangman's quest to the AEW World Championship. I think Tony Khan should get more credit because it was his adjustment of making Hangman this insecure millennial cowboy drinking character that helped Hangman get to the next level. But a lot of the credit is given to the forward and the kind of the pre-work that the Elite did in building themselves up before the company even existed. So he needs that. He needs the massive opus of creating a big story or creating a big event, because even your big WrestleMania event is something that the Young Bucks and Cody created. Like Vince for years lived off the fact he created WrestleMania. Then when he couldn't live off that fact, he made the program of the Mega Powers. He could live off that for a while. Then when he couldn't live off that for a while, the Attitude Era happens and he has Stone Cold Steve Austin and he does that program. And then he becomes an on-screen character and this and that and the third. Despite how we view him today, there was so many different things that were accredited to Vince McMahon as a booker that we haven't seen in the 5 years for Tony Khan. That's why the question was asked.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I would say that's a fair
question. Yep.
We got Big Man Does. He says Hangman Omega. Yeah. That's what wonder I'm saying. Like I thought about it. And I was like, yeah, he does deserve more credit than he gets for that because it was his adjustment. Like Hangman is not the same Hangman that came into AEW. It was Tony adjusting him, letting him drink, become the millennial cowboy that took him to the next level. But let's talk about AEW Collision last week. At AEW Collision, the show featured the Blackpool Combat Club's Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli defeating the Don Callis families, Kyle Fletcher and Powerhouse Hobbs in an excellent main event matchup. These four guys got plenty of time in the ring, had a banger of a matchup. Post-match, Kazuchika Takeshita attacked Bryan and delivered a brainbuster on the ramp to soften him up for Will Ospreay at AEW Dynasty. The House of Black defeated Matt Sydal, Dante Martin, and Action Andretti in a fun trios bout because Darius Martin was off getting his pilot license because he's actually top flight. Get it? Timeless Tony Storm beat Azumi in an impressive debut for the Stardom standout. Meanwhile, Storm's AEW Dynasty opponent, Thunder Rosa, cut one of her best promos detailing her history with Timeless Tony Storm and what the AEW Women's World Championship means to her. Then we had AEW Battle of the Belts 10. The show featured Athena beating Red Velvet in a decent main event to retain the ROH Women's World Championship. Post-match, the Minions jumped Red Velvet until Queen Aminata made the save, teasing a matchup with Athena. Then we had Hook picked up the win over Shane Taylor to retain the FTW Championship, while Roderick Strong defeated Rocky Romero in a good AEW International Championship Eliminator matchup. Post-match, Kyle O'Reilly was betrayed by the Undisputed Kingdom as Roddy delivered a big knee to the face. But final news for AEW before we finish things off with what we miss. As previously reported, there was concern of AEW women's TBS champion Julia Hart being hurt last Wednesday after the Rampage taping. She was reportedly helped backstage after a matchup with Layla Hirsch. At the moment, she's being advertised for the AEW TBS Championship match against Willow Nightingale at AEW Dynasty. According to Fightful Select, Julia Hart is still being advertised for the matchup. Is not an error, and she is expected to make the show. So it appears she will be working through the issue. Hopefully, doesn't cause more issue because too many people working with injuries nowadays, it seems to me. I don't feel comfortable.
Too many people working with injuries. Ugh.
During Thursday's Wrestling Observer Radio, it was noted that Bryan Danielson has a significant amount of creative control when it comes to his booking in AEW. The topic of Bryan working a bunkhouse brawl tonight on Collision came up just a day before his dream match with Will Ospreay at Dynasty. Dave Meltzer noted that Danielson wouldn't be working the match unless he wanted to. While Tony Khan makes the final calls, Danielson isn't doing anything he doesn't want to do. I love the way Meltzer just puts that. doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do. Make him sound like Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar out here in these streets. And then finally, some good news in the AEW verse. During the Rampage taping on Wednesday, Ruby Soho announced that she is expecting her first child. The PW MMA News Twitter account shared a clip of Soho and Angelo Parker hitting the ring for a segment, which was taped for Rampage tonight. Soho announced that she was pregnant, and Parker, who was acting as if it was news to him, kissed her and said that he's going to be a dad. Soho and Parker have been dating off camera for a while and recently became an on-screen couple, and the announcement was confirmed by Fightful as legit. So congratulations to Ruby Soho and Angelo Parker on their
that's not a work. That's
Nope.
actually really, really. Oh my God! I thought it was a work. I thought they was fucking with us. Oh, congrats to them.
Yes, congratulations to them. I
Another
love
little wrestler in the world. Great. We love it.
love. I'm a thumbs up for love.
I thought they were just working and it was just like all a part of the story, but the real story became real life and they're having a baby like Ashanti and Nelly. Great. Good job, guys.
Don't work yourself into a shoot, brother. Let's finish up the converse with ROH TV. You had ROH TV, the main event saw Mark Briscoe making his return as Ring of Honor World Champion, picking up a win over Griff Garrison in a proving ground matchup. Meanwhile, you had the Beast Mortos made his second appearance since his re-debut at Supercard of Honor, beating Nick Camarado in a decent bout. That is all for the converse in ROH TV this week, but we got to move over to their partner, New Japan Pro Wrestling, as they had a show last Sunday, Wrestling World from Tijuana. Not Tijuana, Taiwan, excuse me. Taiwan. I was like, I read that.
Tijuana and Taiwan are two totally different places.
I was like, one's here, one's there. I was like, I'm gonna correct myself there. Wrestling World from Taiwan. The show featured Hiroshi Tanahashi, Toriano, and Bolton Overland defeating a House of Torture to win the never open weight 6-man tag team championship tournament and become the new champions. You also had Bishamon beat Just 5 Guys to retain the IWGP tag team championships, and Doki picked up a win over Kosei Fujita to become the number 1 contender to face Sho for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Definitely go out of your way to watch that Doki and Kosei Fujita match. Really good stuff between those two guys. And then finally, what we missed, TNA Impact. You had the final face-off between the participants in the TNA Heavyweight Championship matchup at TNA Rebellion with Moose and Nick Nemeth saying their final words. You had X Division champion and Tru Heel's BTR interviewee, Mustafa Ali, picked up a win alongside grizzled young veterans, beating Cody Deaner, Jake Sumpton, and Rhino in trios action. And you had the System picking up a victory over the Motor City Machine Guns to retain the TNA World Tag Team Championships in a very good main event. And what may be the final TNA matchup for Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. It was quite a way to go out in a great matchup between these two teams. So good stuff from Impact. And then one final note from Impact before we get into our matches of the week. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there is a big name, a former AEW talent that may be showing up at Rebellion tonight. Mike Santana has been in talks to return to TNA. It's believed that he would be starting at Rebellion tonight. It should be noted that TNA teased some sort of debut for that pay-per-view on Impact this week. His deal is a per-date deal, and a lot of TNA talent have similar deals, although a few have annual guarantees. Santana previously worked for TNA when it was Impact Wrestling from 2017 to 2019. He and Ortiz were part of the updated LAX along with Conan and Diamante, as well as others. Josh,
they're still not talking to each other? They're still not friends?
They're still not friends.
That's like that upsets me. That's like Deez and Samaro. It's really sad.
Oh, Deez and Samaro broke up too? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, what you mean?
I don't watch them. I just see their gifts.
Oh yeah. When money got involved and too many people, it lost its Sad
Lost
sad
the sizzle.
stuff, friend. Sad stuff. But I'm happy for Mustafa Ali and Dolph Ziggler. They're doing great things over there. I know that's not his name. Nick
Nemeth.
whatever.
Nemeth.
Yeah, Nick, him over there. I'm happy for them over there. They're doing great stuff. See what happens when you just leave and you're not a slave anymore. The shackles are taken off you.
You feel free. You're able to fly. Look at that. What do you think is the ceiling for Santana in TNA wrestling, Josh?
He has to win the championship, the world championship, and I think he could do that there. He's coming in as a singles run. So I think they're gonna do something significant with him. I don't think if he goes mid card, I mean, he'll be dead in the water if he goes mid card and a place in TNA. And I'm being serious just because it's like he was already one of the best tag teams they've ever had in that company. So I mean, you go to the next step, and if Santana's in a situation in real life where he's trying to prove himself, right? He's trying to be better than what he feels like he could be. So him being a mid carder, and him being a mid carder isn't that like. So I think him reaching to the top for that title, I think that will be his ceiling for the company.
That's fair. That is fair. We got you, my boy Blue, joining us in the chat. Thanks for joining us today. We got Frantic World bringing up a nice little congratulations as well, as Rocky Romero has been announced as the new VP of New Japan Pro Wrestling. This makes him one of the only wrestlers or people that I've ever heard of who's a VP in two major promotions, because he has a VP.
He has two jobs.
He has a VP position in All Elite Wrestling and now is a VP in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
That money, Rocky. Get that paper, bro. Good for you.
Rocky, like you know that is with Rocky. Rocky, like most of like his strengths, and I think behind the scenes that's his biggest strength. He's a great wrestler. I think he still
tears it up and has bangers in Mexico every other week. It's like he's really good. He's a really good wrestler, but his strongest strength is his backstage, and I think he knows what he is in the ring. Like he's not going to be the top guy. He's not going to be that kind of person. He's the guy that puts over people. So he knows his strengths, and I mean that's good for him. That's great. Happy for him. Yeah, that's awesome. We also got Big Man Dogs. He says, didn't TNA have one of the Forgotten Sons win the world title? He can easily win the world title.
Yeah,
that's wrong. Don't do Steve Macklin like that. Do not do Steve Macklin.
I mean Steve Macklin. I mean he's outdone himself in TNA. So I mean that's a whole nother topic for another day.
Facts. All right, time for match of the week. Miss Krssi Love, you gotta dust off the rust and give us your matches of the week. This is where we give you our top matches that we saw from this past week, whether it be 3, 5, sometimes I've even given 10. This week I'm going with 5, though. Keep it simple, stupid. Number 5 for me this week, I'm going with Ilya Dragunov versus Javon Evans from NXT. Javon Evans, the young OG, one of my favorite people in WWE right now. Number 4 for me, I'm going with the Elite versus Garcia, Penta, and Pac from Dynamite. Really fun trios matchup. I love the Elite as a trio, and Garcia was hella popular in Indianapolis. The crowd was rocking during that matchup as well. Number 3 from Collision, the Blackpool Combat Club versus Don Callis family. It like went into second and third gear and never let up, and it just went full throttle with that matchup. They were brawling all over ringside, hitting big moves. Powerhouse Hobbs looked like a beast in that matchup. Love that one. Number 2 for me this week, surprisingly, I'm gonna go with Ospreay and Claudio at number 2 from Dynamite. I was legitimately thinking, this definitely got to be number 1 for me this week after I watch it. But after strong reflection, because of the entrance, number 1 is Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. I rated both matches the same, so I had to look at something else to give one the edge over the other, and I was like, that entrance was amazing, and the Gable heel turn was great as well. So I give Sammy and Gable my match of the week. Krssi Love.
Well, I didn't watch much wrestling this week. Sorry, but I have 3. from what I did see. I'm gonna go backwards. Number 1, of course, is Will Ospreay and Claudio. 2, Chad Gable and Sammy. My third one, I'm going to go with. It was from Collision last week. Blackpool Combat and who did they
Don
go
Callis
against?
family.
There you go. Thanks, friend.
Honorable mention for me to Timeless Tony Storm versus Azumi. Azumi found Tony Storm's working boots, and I appreciate you, Azumi. I didn't know her.
She made her give her one of her better matches. Yeah, because
that was her. That was probably her best match as Timeless Tony Storm.
Okay, because I would say Tony's now getting a little stale for me, friends. I'm like, okay, how long are we gonna keep doing this? Like, I want to see you do more than just, flick your lips and, do whatever. But yes.
Josh, your matches of the week?
I'm going to go with a top 3. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Trios match, the Elite Trios match. Number 2, I'm going to go with Gable versus Sami Zayn. Great entrance, great match. And then heel turn was hilarious because he snatched him up from his wife. That was hilarious. And then number 1, it'll be Ospreay versus Claudio.
That is fair. Sound off in the live chat, sound off in the comment section, and let us know your matches of the week from this past week. We love to interact and see yours as well. But let's finish off this show with our final predictions. Tonight, we got TNA Rebellion from Las Vegas, the Palms. Big show, one of their biggest shows of the year. They have the countdown to Rebellion with 3 big matches. First up, we got a trios bout. It's going to be the ABC and Leon Slater going up against the Rascals, Myron Reed, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz. Krssi Love, who you got?
Ooh, I'm going to go. I love ABC, but I think the Rascals got this and Reed.
I'm going to go with the Rascals for the win. Josh?
I'm going to go with the Rascals. Reed's my boy, so I'm going to go with that.
Hell yeah. Reed is our boy. Absolutely. We love Myron Reed here. Then we got for the TNA Digital Media Championship, Crazy Steve defends against Laredo Kid. I'll go with Crazy Steve to retain. Josh?
I'll go with Crazy Steve to retain.
Krssi?
I mean, with that name, Crazy, he has to be something, so I guess he should win.
TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships up for grabs. Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat go against
the name is Spitfire?
The tag team name is Spitfire.
Okay.
They face the Decay of Rosemary and Havoc. I'll go with Spitfire here. Krssi Love?
Spitfire to retain.
Josh?
Champs retain.
Then we got on the main card, we got a good friend of the channel, 2 good friends of the channel, 3 good friends of the channel. All these people I love. You got Rich Swann with AJ Francis. First Class will go one-on-one with his former friend and tag team partner, Joe Hendry. He turned on Joe Hendry, aligning with AJ Francis just a couple of weeks ago, forming the tag team First Class, the biggest change in Rich Swann's career in quite some time. Probably the first time I remember him being a heel. I'm going with Rich Swann here. Who you got, Krssi?
Rick Swann for the win. He better
Josh?
win.
I'm gonna go with Rich Swain.
Of course. Last man standing match, the third encounter between Josh Alexander and Hammerstone. These 2 men went up for the first time against each other at Hard to Kill, with Alexander beating Hammerstone. And then they had their rematch at Sacrifice, with Hammerstone picking up the victory via a low blow and then taking the headgear of Josh Alexander and walking around with it like a trophy. These 2 men have brawled all over the place, over the Impact Zone over the last couple of weeks, leading to this last man standing matchup. I'm going to go with Hammerstone for the win.
Oh,
Krssi?
I got Josh.
Josh?
I'm gonna go with Josh. I mean, I can't go against him. I mean, realistically, I'm going with Alexander. I think he ends up winning the feud in this.
Then we got in a Full Metal Mayhem. Tables, ladders, chairs, garbage cans, anything metal that isn't nailed down is allowed in this matchup. Eric Young versus Frankie Kazarian. It was Kazarian who turned on Eric Young back at around Hard to Kill weekend, and he's been on this heel run. EY costing EY the TNA Heavyweight Championship back at Sacrifice. Now we had the Full Metal Mayhem. Josh, who you got?
This is a good one. I'm gonna go Eric Young.
Krssi?
Young. Frankie Kazarian doesn't need to win.
I'll go with Kazarian for the win here.
Oh.
For the X Division Championship, Mustafa Ali will defend against Jake Something. Jake Something won the number one contender 6-way scramble matchup. And since then, Mustafa Ali has been basically trying to get out of this matchup because he doesn't agree that Jake Something should be in the X Division. The X Division may be about no limits, but Mustafa Ali says that some things deserve limits. And we actually talked about what limits he would put on the X Division if he was in charge during our interview with him that will be dropping later today. Of course, I got to go with Mr. Ali. Josh?
I'm going with Ali.
Ali
Krssi?
for sure. Ali for sure. Like his number one supporters. Hello.
This is true. This is true. Yeah, I mean, I probably would go with Alexander if I didn't interview him this week, though. I mean, I would go with I would go with Jake Something if I didn't interview him this week because I don't see how he's gonna beat that big man. I don't know. But for the TNA World Tag Team Champions, another couple of our friends are here. We have Speedball Mountain. We recently interviewed them. That's up on the channel right now. They have had their quest for the tag team titles since forming as a team in December, and they finally get their shot against the Systems, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. Josh?
I think the System retains.
Krssi Love?
System.
I'm going to go with Speedball Mountain. Go with Speedball
It's okay,
Mountain.
friend.
I'm biased as hell.
I mean, if they win, that'd be great. That'd be great if they win.
Right.
TNA Knockouts World Championship up for grabs. Jordan Grace defends against Steph DeLander. Steph got the win in the 8-4-1 match to become the number one contender, thanks to help from Matt Cardona. Unfortunately, Matt Cardona is getting surgery and won't be in her corner, but who gets the win here, Krssi Love?
Wow. Jordan Grace.
Josh?
Grace retains.
Unanimous. I'll go with Jordan Grace for the win. And another one I think we might be unanimous for, TNA World Championship up for grabs. Moose defends against the wanted man, Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth made his debut for TNA back at Hard to Kill after Moose defeated Alex Shelley to become the TNA World Champion. Since then, Nick Nemeth has picked up win after win against the likes of Steve Macklin, Alex Shelley, making himself the number one contender for the gold. Moose says that Nick Nemeth will not beat him because Nick Nemeth has never been able to beat the System. Double entendre there. Krssi Love, who you got? Moose or Nemeth?
I'm going Moose.
Wow. All right. Josh?
I'm going Nemeth.
I am going with Nick Nemeth as well. I just have a feeling that they have to give him the ball at this point. You got to see how far he can run things.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
And usually TNA, they usually do this when they get like a new signing. They usually do give them the title. And I think that this is the right time to do it. And he does a lot of bookings. He does a lot of independent bookings. So if your champion goes in on doing these shows, it gives them some buzz for that as well. So they usually tend to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it'd be cool for Nemeth to come out of WWE, win a title in New Japan, win a title in TNA. Come on.
True.
He gotta have his hot. He's gonna have his hot girl summer. Krssi Love.
Okay, fine.
Now we gotta move over to AEW Dynasty. 0 Hour has 3 matches already lined up. Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata will versus Shane Taylor Promotions. Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty. It was Orange Cassidy who beat Shane Taylor on Dynamite this week, with Shane Taylor Promotions jumping him after the matchup. They've already had their issues with Shibata beating him in a trios matchup with Lionhook, and then Shibata beating Moriarty here. So combining both of these things into one matchup, I'm going with Cassidy and Shibata. Krssi?
For sure, Cassidy and Shibata is winning.
Josh?
Cassidy Shibata.
In this whole feud that's going on with Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, you had Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels try to come out for the save for Orange Cassidy on Dynamite against STP, but it was Trent Beretta who blasted him with the steel chair to set up this 0-hour matchup of Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. I'm going with Trent. Krssi?
Trent, because on that heel turn, he has to win. He should win.
Josh?
I'm going with Trent.
And then finally, 0 hour. Oh my God, let this fucking end. Bullet
Please.
Club Gold, Jay White and the Guns, the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions, put up their titles against the AEW World Trios Champions, The Acclaim, Max Caster, and
Wait, they have them on the wait, you have him
on the 0-hour pre-show for a rivalry they've been building for 4 fucking months. What the fuck are we doing? We're wasting Jay White's time. We're wasting the best years of Jay White's life.
Yes,
what the fuck are we doing, Tony?
yes, yeah. You guys know this is a fucking shame how you have Jay White, a former several-time champion. Like, nah, son, you cannot be fucking serious right now. The 0 hour.
Let Bullet Club Gold win and move the fuck on, please.
Please, like, let Jay White should be like in talks with like the. I know he has the Guns with him, which is great. I love their faction, but he deserves way better than this. Way better.
Josh?
I'm going to go with the Acclaim, so then they get the titles, and then Jay White can become a single guy again. There you go.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll take any way we can get to Jay White leaving.
I need justice for Jay. No, oh God. I don't want him to lose neither. The freaking Billy Gunn. Oh God. Like,
to keep it consistent with another match I have no interest in watching, Hook will defend.
Why did they put this on the fucking 0 hour?
Exactly.
Like, oh my God.
This is on the main card, and it started like a month ago.
And this is with the fucking Chris fucking Jericho. Oh my God, get the fuck out of here!
It's because of Hook. They're trying to re-sign him. It's for Hook.
Is that what we're trying to do?
This is a great way to re-sign him. Yeah. For the FTW Championship, Hook will defend against Chris Jericho because of how Chris Jericho rivalries go, where someone beats him and then we still continue the fucking rivalry after. This rivalry is not ending after this pay-per-view, so fucking Chris Jericho is gonna fucking beat Hook. Krssi?
I have Hook. Like, what are we even saying right now? I don't give a like Jericho.
Josh?
Like,
I'm gonna go with Hook, even though I don't think he's winning. But I'm gonna go with Hook.
I hope Hook's winning, but
I hope Hook better win. Like, why would look fucking Chris Jericho?
I hope Hook wins, but
he better win.
I don't think he will.
No, oh my
I don't think he will.
Can't.
In a trios matchup, we got the House of Black going up against TNT champion Adam Copeland, NJPW Strong Openweight champion Eddie Kingston, and Ring of Honor World champion Mark Briscoe. This one kicked off because of the whole rivalry between House of Black and Mark Briscoe. House of Black confronted Adam Copeland, jumping him. Kingston and Briscoe made the save to set up this trios matchup. I am going to go with the baby faces. I'll go with Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe. Krssi?
I guess the baby faces have to win. So yeah, go ahead.
They don't have to win. I think the heels should win, but I'm doing my prediction on how I think Tony Khan's going to book this, and he never books House of Black that well. So,
and those other people that deserve better as well. I feel like they need better. But they're probably
to be fair, it's different from Jay because House of Black don't want to do feuds where they lose a lot. So, yeah.
Okay, fine, sure. Okay, Eddie Kingston and Mark and Adam
Josh.
to win.
I'm gonna go with the baby faces.
Yeah, I want to go with House of Black. I really hope House of Black wins. I really
Yeah,
hope
that's what I say. I really
That'd be a
hope
nice
House of Black.
surprise. That'd be a nice surprise. I would like it. That'd be a nice surprise.
AEW International Championship up for grabs. Roderick Strong will defend against former friend Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly made his return at Revolution following Roddy defeating Orange Cassidy for the international title. But since then, Kyle has wanted to do things on his own, which you could tell was getting under the skin of Roddy Strong. So when he helped out Rocky Romero after losing to Roddy, Roddy turned on Kyle O'Reilly, setting up this international championship bout. I will go with Roddy to retain. Josh?
I think Roddy retains.
Roddy should retain. I'm sad that they have this feud happening so fast already, but whatever.
Yeah, so we're all going for Roddy to retain. But for the TBS championship, you got Julia Hart defending against Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale became the number one contender in a fatal four-way match featuring Anna Jay, Sky Blue, and Chris Statlander. But in the middle of this whole rivalry has been Mercedes Moné, as she will face the winner of this matchup at Double or Nothing. She was attacked. We don't know who she was attacked by, but I am going to go with Willow to get the win because Julia needs some time off to get better from the injury.
Yep.
And they're obviously setting up Willow versus Mercedes, which I hope to God they turn Mercedes heel immediately.
La, 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 la.
They're not turning her heel. I know Krssi. I know Krssi. Don't worry. I'm not oblivious. Josh?
I'm gonna go Willow.
Is that Prince with a haircut? No, that's not Prince.
Totally different dog.
Yeah, that's not Prince. That's a different one. That's his cousin.
For the other
that's cousin.
AEW Women's title, AEW World Women's Championship, you got Timeless Toni Storm defends against Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa was the former champion who had to relinquish the title, and it was Toni Storm who won the interim AEW World Championship. She was former tag team partner with Thunder Rosa, but then turned on her when she won the gold, saying Thunder Rosa fell underneath the pressure. And now Thunder Rosa returns to AEW to a brand new Toni, still being the AEW Women's World Champion on her third reign. She's gotten a win over Toni in a tag team matchup. Toni attacked her and tried to wipe off her face paint. Thunder Rosa got revenge, putting lipstick all over Toni's face. I will say, after Collision and Dynamite this week, they added some heat to this matchup, but still, you got to keep it on the most popular woman in the division. So I think Timeless Toni Storm retains.
Yeah, I feel like Thunder should win, but I know she's not going to win. So we're going to keep it on Toni Storm and make this feud be like the best of three, probably.
Josh?
It's going to be Toni Storm. I think she retains. Oh, look, and here's Prince.
Hi, Prince.
There we go.
Hey, Prince. So who's this cousin? What's the cousin?
That's Winnie. She just has a haircut. So Prince is turning 12 tomorrow. So
happy birthday, Prince!
Even though you're not an Aries though. How do we not get an Aries dog? Come on, friend. Let's get this together.
He was off by one. He was off by what? A day or two.
We still love you. It's okay.
We still love you. Then you got the match. One of the matches I'm looking forward to the most. Kazuchika Okada defends the AEW Continental Championship against Pac. Okada won the title from Kingston back on March 20th, and Pac immediately made himself the number one contender, stepping up to Okada. He has been a thorn in the side of the Elite since day one of the fucking company. Day one of the company started with Pac confronting Hangman Adam Page. He's had matches with the Young Bucks. He's had matches with Kenny Omega, Hangman. Now he versus the newest member of the Elite, Okada. Josh, what you got?
Okada.
Krssi Love?
Okada.
Unanimous. Okada for the win. Then you got for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, a ladder match to determine the first ever 3-time champions and the new champions following Sting's retirement. It is the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, versus FTR, part 4 of their
Part 4.
series. I am going with the Young Bucks to win, thanks to the scapegoat, Jack Perry. Krssi Love.
What?
That's my pick. Yep.
You going with that, Josh?
Yep. That's what I've been saying. I'm like, yo, that's the best way to bring back Jack. Fuck CM Punk.
I want FTR to win, but I know they won't, and they're pissed about it too. Young Bucks for the win. The bosses have to win.
EVPs, yes,
EVPs
indeed.
And Jack Perry, and they bring back Jack Perry.
Jack Perry is the Hangman replacement of the Elite.
Yeah. While he's out, yeah, okay, I see it.
Dream match that everyone is looking forward to. Bryan Danielson 1-on-1 with Will Ospreay. Krssi Love. How much are you looking forward to this one, and who wins?
My juices are rumbling right now. But yes. Oh my God, Will Ospreay, he's gonna win. But it's gonna be a bloody fucking mess, though. Oh my God, Daniel.
You think it's gonna be blood?
Oh my, it's gonna be a lot of blood. It's gonna be a lot. I hope that these two are injury prone too.
Chris, Josh, who you got?
I got Ospreay for the win.
I really want Bryan to win because I'm a Bryan fan. I'll be honest. But Ospreay's gonna win because Bryan don't like winning matches. But
so we can do a draw. We can do a draw.
That is true. But they probably won't on pay-per-view. But we won't get a draw in the main event. They have officially announced this will be the main event of the show. Woo-hoo! Samoa Joe defends the AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland. This is the culmination of this 4-month rivalry. Swerve chasing Joe as the champion since Joe became the champion back at World's End at the end of December. It has been Swerve who has been a thorn in his side. They had the 3-way matchup at Revolution where Hangman tapped out, so Swerve couldn't get the victory, but Swerve has kept on his paces, kept up with Joe, won the number 1 contendership, beating Takeshita, signed the contract for the matchup in his own blood after Joe knocked him out with a steel chain, stomped out security guards, but nothing's going to stop them tomorrow night. Is it Swerve's time, Krssi Love?
It is definitely Swerve's time. Oh my God. Can't wait to see Prince Nana go bananas when we win and beat Samoa Joe for the belt. Woo-hoo.
Woo-hoo. Josh, you agree?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Swerve. I think this is the best time to do it. I think this is the best time to do it. I think if you wait much longer, it's not going to mean anything. So I think this is the best time to do it right now.
Yep.
You got to strike while the iron is hot. It's still hot. I feel like this whole pay-per-view was only made to be the coronation of Swerve Strickland. So, yeah, he is the dynasty. You got to give him the ball and run with it. So,
yep.
We are all going with Swerve Strickland for the victory at Dynasty. You can watch it. Of course, it's going to be available YouTube TV, Bleacher Report, even Triller TV as well for AEW Dynasty. You can watch it on Triller TV for TNA Rebellion tonight as well. But that brings us to a close on our latest flagship podcast. Miss Krssi Love, thank you so much for being back with us this week. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
So guys, yes, you can follow me here on our flagship podcast show, Tru Heel Heat, every Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Other than that, you can see myself and SP do Dark Side of the Ring. So sorry that we have been delayed, but things just been happening and life has been lifing. So sorry. But we'll bring back more for you. We promise. I have to catch up on the episodes. Know Your Role Fridays. Stephanie and I have lives and things have been lifing again. My friend just bought a house and then she was just busy. And I was busy too. So so congrats to Stephanie. But yes, Know Your Role Friday. SmackDown review will be back Friday coming up next week. And then other than that, Seven Face of Hills, I don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow, but I'll let you know. We'll see. Other than that, guys, follow me.
I didn't even think to ask you because you kind of have been busy and a little bit occupied this week. But I was thinking about asking y'all if y'all want to do
sorry,
serving,
so. I didn't see much wrestling. So yeah, sorry guys. So we apologize. We'll be back full force, bigger and stronger. It's just been a lot of things happening. It was my birthday and a lot of stuff, just so you know. Yeah. Other than that, follow me, Tru Heel Krssi Love on X or Twitter, whatever is your preference of how you want to call it. Tru Heel Krssi Love _1 on IG, and then it's just my name on Facebook. Love you guys. Thanks.
True Jaw Josh, the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
You can follow me at jmpunk321, Twitter and Instagram. I'll be on Wednesday for Elite Heat. Post Dynasty show, so I'll be on for that.
Are we doing a watch along for Dynasty?
I mean, it's usually up to Romeo, but I believe no, he definitely did make a Dynasty watch party thumbnail, so I don't know if Josh is gonna be there for that, but or any of y'all, but yeah, we're gonna be doing a Dynasty watch party. I'm currently frozen, I think. So if anybody wants to take Josh off of the big screen, you can do that.
Sure, no problem.
For me. No, you got to take yourself off. You just press the little square in your body. No, don't leave me alone.
Now everybody's off. Now everybody got on.
That was hilarious. I was like, what are you doing?
I pressed the wrong button. I apologize. My bad.
This is the best outro ever. But you can follow me at Tru Heel SP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, the Tru Heel Heat Prediction Championship, plus much, much more. And check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like our AEW Dynasty preview with myself and Andrew Thompson. Check out our TNA Rebellion preview with myself and Chris G. And like I said at the top and throughout this podcast, join us live here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel today, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, an hour before the start of the countdown to Rebellion. You can check out X Division champion Mustafa Ali on Tru Heel's BTR Between the Ropes with myself, SP3. Go over and check that out. Join us over on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment channel tomorrow for our X-Men 97 review. We always enjoy doing those, so join us for that as well. But for Josh, for Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat 273, Rebel for a Dynasty. We are signing off until next time.